Baseball on SNY is brought to you by Delta. Mets fans win amazing prizes from Delta Airlines. Visit sny.tv/Delta Dugout for details. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote Mets for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Mets.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 11th live on Fox. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. It's been 2 different road trips so far for the Mets. The 4 games in LA and then the 2 games here in San Francisco. What a difference the top of the standings and the bottom of the standings makes. Dodgers have been red hot, the Giants not, and the Mets have taken advantage, and they go for the sweep here today in the city by the bay. It's the Mets and the Giants. First pitch coming up from San Francisco. Gorgeous afternoon in San Francisco. The morning fog has burned off. They call it the marine layer here in California. It's actually fog and clouds, just like everywhere else.
Just needs the sun to kind of heat things up and get it to dissipate.
And it has dissipated quite nicely. About 64 degrees as we approach game time. Your Geico Mets starting lineup. NYN Cespedes gets the day off today. Curtis Granderson, who has been tearing it up, particularly against lefties on this road trip, gets another start in the leadoff spot as Dribble Cabrera, 2 days after being asked to move to second base, plays shortstop today as Jose Reyes gets the day off, and Michael Conforto parting the Riveras at the bottom of the Mets batting order.
And there's Matt Moore, 6'2", 28-year-old, 212 pounds. I got him from Tampa Bay last year, and he is not having such a hot year. They say he's having a tough time transitioning, Gary, from windup to stretch. So when men get on base, it takes them a while to get in the groove. And the Coors Light defense, the rookie out there in left field, Austin Slater. Hunter Pence, one of our favorites, out in right. On the infield, Belt hit the home run last night, and this young man had his first start yesterday over at third base. That's Ryder Jones. And there he is right there, their star, Buster Posey.
And that gets us set it for an afternoon of baseball.
Perfect. Sun's out.
Are you set, Keith?
I'm all set.
Curtis Granderson leads off. Matt Moore's first pitch of the day is a fastball inside, and we're underway. Granderson 3 for 9 in the series, including a triple yesterday. He's 7 for 12 against lefties on this road trip, which is remarkable because he hadn't been hitting lefties at all before that. And he yanks one foul when it's 1-1.
Curtis is a very unpredictable player, very streaky. He can look absolutely awful in one at bat or a couple games, and then all of a sudden be a world beater.
Well, for the first 6 weeks of the season, there was nothing happening with Curtis's bat. But over the last 6 weeks, since May 15th, 36 games, he's hitting .330. So the best laid plans for Terry Collins, right? He was supposed to be the odd man out in the outfield. Well, he has forced his way back into more playing time. Today it's Cespedes getting the day off. Granderson in center, Conforto in left. And the breaking ball from Moore is outside, 2-2.
You know, a lot of times when you get into a rut, and especially a rut at the beginning of the season, it can just snowball on you, and you sit down for a while, and it takes the load off your mind. You take a deep breath, you take a step back, and then you come back in the lineup, and it's like a fresh start. And this is what has happened with Curtis, I think. I'm supposed to be positive. I know that's the case.
That's more definitive, yeah, when you say you know. 3-2 to Curtis leading off with Cabrera on deck and Bruce to follow. And Moore's payoff is outside, and Granderson's on with a leadoff walk. That is the 4th time in the last 5 games that Granderson has gotten on base leading off the first inning. So now Asdrubal Cabrera, who returned from the disabled list, created controversy on his arrival Friday and has done nothing but play brilliantly in the 2 games since. He's gone 5 for 9 at the plate. He made an unbelievable play at second base yesterday, diving to his left to take a base hit away late in the game, and now playing shortstop today. So at least for the weekend, all is happy. Granderson at first and nobody out, and Cabrera pops up the first pitch foul. That'll go out of play, 0-1.
It is 6-2 out in Washington, folks, out in your neck of the woods. Back there on Eastern time, the Reds are winning 6-2 in the 8th. Mets have a chance to pick up a Wago here. Go to 3-4 on this trip.
And that bounces away from Posey, and down to second goes Granderson. So on the wild pitch by Moore, the Mets have a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
I have a question to ask here. The PA system, we hear the scores, the official scores of that was a wild pitch. Is that the scorekeeper that's on the microphone?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because it was so quick. I figured it had to be the scorekeeper.
You get it right from the source, right from the horse's mouth, as it were. No translation required. So Moore in immediate trouble with a runner at second and nobody out. 1-1 to Cabrera, and Asdrubal watches up and away, 2-1. Moore coming off a victory his last time out. Victories have been rare for the Giants lately. They've only won 5 of their last 25 games. But he beat the Braves Tuesday night in Atlanta with 7 strong innings, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits, a 6-3 Giants win. Cabrera smacks one out to center. Span back. Granderson tagging. Span's got it. Granderson heads to third, and he'll make it easily. And the Mets have a runner at third with 1 out. And that's the first out of the afternoon. Span catching that ball back on his heels as it appeared to take off on him a little bit. And that made it easy for Granderson to get to third base. And now Jay Bruce with a chance to knock him in. Jay had the go-ahead hit in the 8th inning for the Mets yesterday against the left-hander. Got that against Stephen Okert. And the infield will play back for the Giants. It was interesting on Jay's hit last night. Much as is the case right now, the Giants did not play the overshift against him. He hit the ground ball in a spot that has been an out for him for most of the year. But because the Giants don't overshift against him with the left-hander on the mound, the ball found its way through the hole, and the Mets got the lead. In fact, Jay said after the game, ground ball to the right side is what he is trying to avoid at all costs, because with the shifting these days, that has become a death trap for left-hand hitters.
Well, if you're a predictable hitter and you don't hit the ball to all fields, and Jay's a power hitter, and you don't want him, you want him to try to hit home runs to a degree. You know, you got three guys on the right side of the infield. It is death.
Pulled down to first. That'll get the run in. Belt will take the out at first. Granderson comes home, and without a base hit, the Mets have the first run of the afternoon. Walk, wild pitch, fly ball, RBI ground out, 1-0 New York. 50th run batted in of the season for Jay Bruce.
On his way to 100.
So 2 out and nobody on with a run home, and here's Wilmer Flores, who had a big day yesterday with a double and a home run. Wilmer is now 5 for 7 in this series with 3 extra base hits. And he pulls one foul. So after a lull that cooled Wilmer down after a 6-week hot streak, he has had a terrific series so far. Another big crowd at AT&T Park, where they've sold out 523 consecutive regular season games.
Baseball during the day and under the sun. Wonderful. In such a beautiful setting here. We know.
Moore ahead 1-2. And he bounces one in there.
This is the only part of the game today that's new that I'm jealous of, that I never got to play in this ballpark. That I had to schlep over to Candlestick in the tights and try to stay warm.
Yeah, well, it could have been worse. You could have played 81 home games at Candlestick Park.
That's true.
The difference is, as I recall at Candlestick, the visitors' dugout was on the third base side, and there was no place to hide. You couldn't get to the clubhouse because the clubhouse was out in right field.
Down the right field line by the giant bullpen.
2-2 coming, and Wilmer pulls it foul. Whereas I believe the home team with the first base dugout, they were able to get up the tunnel to the clubhouse.
I always remember, Gary, they going. We all went in the same door down the right field line together.
But I thought they had some kind of connective tissue.
I'm not sure about that. I never played for the Giants.
2-2 coming, and the breaking ball fouled off.
Okay. Those are the dimensions. You see they're kind of a little quirky. I like it.
AT&T Park, which opened in 2000. That's hooked foul. The Mets lost their first 12 regular season games in this ballpark.
What's it called? The 421 Triples Alley?
Triples Alley. Mets had a couple in that area yesterday. Granderson and Reyes both had easy triples in that deepest part of the ballpark. It's very shallow down the line, 309, but very few balls fly out to right field. Ball gets a much better boost going out to left and left center, as Wilmer found out yesterday with his home run. And he golfs one foul, and the at-bat continues. 9 pitches deep and still going. Lucas Duda hitting 5th in the order, waiting on deck. Lucas hit a home run against a left-hander yesterday. Pitch number 10 from Moore to Flores, and Wilmer somehow fouls that off.
Going back to Candlestick Park, what was unusual about Candlestick Park is most ballparks, if not all, the clubhouses are on either side of the field, third base, first base line. The clubhouse was right across the hallway, that both the visitor and the home. So when there was a fight, there could be trouble in that breezeway there.
Wilmer goes down swinging. Good thing you never got in a fight.
I ran.
Mets cash a first inning run without a hit. Give Rafael Montero the early lead. Back same starting lineup they put out yesterday. Ryder Jones gets his second big league appearance after making his debut yesterday. Giants continue to flounder, last in the National League in home runs, third from the bottom in runs scored. First team to 50 losses this year, and Rafael Montero will try and keep them down today.
The only team with a worse record in the National League is those Phillies.
Phillies are 24-49. The Giants 27-50. Denard Span leads off, 2 for 9 in this series. And he takes the first pitch fastball from Montero for a strike. It'll be Span, then Joe Panik and Hunter Pence for the Giants in the bottom of the first. Montero making his third start of the year, his first in a month. And he misses with a slider 1-1. His last start was not a pretty affair. That was against the Padres May 25th. Threw 87 pitches in 3 laborious innings and gave up 3 runs and 5 hits en route to a 4-3 loss. And really both his starts this year have been like that. The polar opposite of what he's done his last 2 relief outings. And the changeup rolled foul off the foot of Span, 1-2.
And the Lexus Mets defense, as you can see, Curtis in center field. Terry Collins feels that Curtis is a better center fielder than Conforto. Conforto is more comfortable in left field. Wilmer, of course, at third base. Rivera back in the lineup at second base. Cabrera switches over with Reyes getting a rest, gets back into his shortstop position. And there's Curtis, just comes in, punches that clock every day, never complains, just waits his opportunity, waits for his opportunity.
1-2 for Montero, and Span takes inside. The last time that Conforto and Granderson both played together, Terry played Conforto in center and Granderson in left. But as you said, not only does he think Granderson's a little more comfortable in center, but he thinks that Conforto can better take advantage of his arm playing left field. Get more opportunities to throw out base runners from left than you do from center. 2-2 to Span, and he gets jammed and pops one foul. Coming back, Rivera hoping, sliding, he made the catch. What a play! Rivera stumbled on his first step, but then raced back and got there just in the nick of time for the first out. Terrific play.
You got that right, Gare. You had to negotiate the wall. He picks it up real quick. Nicely done. Right in between the 2 Geico signs. How'd he do that?
I don't know, but he saved more than 15%. Here's Joe Panic, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Panic 2 for 7 in this series, the St. John's product. Montero has only faced the Giants once before, and that was in a relief outing earlier this year. So Span, who just made that first out, is the only batter in the Giants lineup who's ever faced Montero before. One thing we've seen recently in these last couple of successful relief outings for Rafael, he's used his changeup more, and his changeup has been a little firmer than it was in the past.
He's got to throw strikes, Gary. He can't be behind the count. And you know, I like his stuff. I think he lives on the outside corner too much, and I do feel that he's a youngster and he's been asked to throw with men on base in situations where you can get hurt. He's been asked to throw, 3-2 breaking balls, and he's not there yet. You got 8 gloves out there. Take a chance.
1-2 to Panic, and he jams him and strikes him out. 2 down. So Montero coming inside that time to get the second out. Well, he has had sporadic opportunities over the last 3.5 seasons. First came up in 2014. His only win came in 2014 against Colorado. 1-9 in his big league career. Here's Hunter Pence with 2 out and nobody on. Pence is 1 for 5 in this series, and he takes the fastball away. It's been a really difficult time for Pence. Worst year he's had in the major leagues after 2 injury-scarred years in a row. I mean, consider that in 2013 and 2014, Pence played 162 games each one of those years. And then the last 2 years, he played 158 combined. Now this year, he's just not producing. And it's taken inside 2-1.
Well, what's worrisome when you get older and you start getting hurt, that first injury, excuse me. I mean, Hunter is 34 years of age now, and usually it doesn't stop. It's almost like it's the beginning of an avalanche. I mean, I had a 13-year run of never being on the disabled list, and I pulled that hamstring in St. Louis in '87, was it? I forget, or '88. And they got hurt the next year. Next thing I know, I was out of uniform gear. It was heartbreaking.
It's a good changeup by Montero, using it away from the right-hand batter, and it's 3-2. Well, is there a way to stem the tide?
It's just a matter of the luck of the draw. I've played with players that kept themselves in great shape and were injury prone,
3-2 coming, and Pence rolls one out to Cabrera at short, and that retires the side. So Montero with a successful first inning, helped out by some really quick work by Rivera, his catcher. Beautiful sliding grab to help Montero to a 1-2-3 inning. 1-0 Mets after 1. Looking from the bay through the marina and into the ballpark here at AT&T Park.
They are going to build in 3 years, be completed. The new the Golden State Warriors will have a new arena right near the ballpark here.
Not in the water.
Not in the water.
No. Lucas Duda leads off in the second and takes a fastball strike from Matt Moore. Lucas 3 for 8 in this series, couple of doubles and a home run. 3 infielders on the right side against Lucas, and he swings and misses at the cutter, and it's 0-2.
There's the shift on the right side with Lucas. Not a complete shift. Did the same thing with Curtis and Bruce with the shortstop up the middle, just to the right side of second base.
TJ Rivera on deck, and then Michael Conforto in the second. And Duda hits one through the shift for a base hit. So they stack 3 guys on the right side, and Duda gets it through there anyway, and the Mets have the leadoff man on for the second straight inning.
So there is life on the ground if you hit it into the shift. Just the percentages aren't with you.
It's life support.
There's the leg kick from Lukey. Little Luke.
Lukey?
I don't know where that came from. It's a day game. Leave me alone.
Now it's TJ Rivera getting his first start in this series. Last started on Wednesday in LA. Went just 1 for 13 in LA, but he has a base hit and is only at bat in this series. Playing second base today with Jose Reyes getting a day off. And TJ fouls off the first pitch fastball, 0-1.
Wow, like an old steamboat. Looks like
it's a pedal boat.
Looks like an old canoe version of a Mississippi River paddle boat. Very ingenious.
I mean, even after all these years, folks wait out there in McCovey Cove for potential home runs to arrive. Of course, there used to be a major flotilla out there when Barry Bonds played here, because there was a lot better chance of getting a baseball. These days, the splashdown hits are few and far between. Michael Conforto waits on deck. TJ rockets one to left field. Slater got a bad start, but he recovers to make the catch. Slater looked like he got tied in knots approaching that ball, but somehow able to reach up and make the grab for the first out.
Well, he got tied in knots in the beginning, and then he slipped. So he really made it. There's the slip. That's a heck of a recovery. Almost went down for the count. Check his blood pressure.
Well, Rivera hit that ball awfully hard, and Slater fortunate to make that recovery. So one hard out with Duda still at first, and now here's Conforto. Michael's 4 for 6 in this series with a double and 3 RBIs. And he takes the pitch down for ball 1. Conforto hitting 7th in the order against the lefty today. And like Granderson, he has really picked it up against left-handers lately. He's up to 283 against lefties this season. Let me ask you this, Keith, because the Mets face very little left-handed pitching early in the season, and their left-hand hitters mostly struggled against left-handers. Lately, they've seen a lot of left-handed pitching. This is 8 now in the last 14 games. Does seeing more lefties help you succeed more against them?
I think so. Absolutely.
That's driven to left center field. Slater over in the gap, and he runs it down. Slater got a perfect jump on that ball, and he retires Conforto. So 2 hard hit balls to left, and both wind up in the glove of Austin Slater.
It looks like Slater can play a little left field. This is a hang with them for Michael Conforto, but this is what I love to see. Michael using that left center field gap. You know that, Garrett, with our division when I played, I mean, the Phillies had 4 left-handed starters, and they were all tough. You know, you sit there and you just kind of go, gosh, I'd like to have a break and get a right-hander. But, you know, more lefties you face, certainly. It helps.
I mean, playing in the East, there is so little left-handed pitching in the Mets division. You can go weeks without facing a left-hander. Mets will face a lefty in the Miami series. Jeff Locke will face them Wednesday night in the middle game. Rene Rivera hits one deep to left field. Headed toward the wall, and that ball is out of here. Rene Rivera with a 2-run homer, his 4th of the year. And the Mets now lead at 3-0 in the second inning. Well, the Mets finally hit one to a place where Slater couldn't reach it.
Catch that one. Fastball. They wanted it upstairs and in. He didn't get it upstairs, did he? Right below the waist.
Big uppercut swing from Rene. Nearly took out the ambulance in left field. And the Mets have a 3-0 lead. And they are hitting Matt Moore awfully hard. 4 batters in this inning, and they've all struck it well. Now Montero looking for his first big league hit, rolls one out to short, and Crawford throws him out to retire the side. But the Mets add to their lead on Rene Rivera's 2-run shot. Montero back to the mound with a 3-0 lead.
DiMaggio runs like cough. Could this be Speaker back on the job? Makes Lippy Dippy with his magical plays. Say hey, Willie Mays.
He runs like a rabbit, sly as a fox. Got home run habits in the baddest box. He belts that ball and say hey.
Sweet.
The one and only Willie Mays.
That catch he made against the wall, that cyclone fence up with Bobby Bonds.
Right.
I was at that game.
Were you really?
Yes, I was.
Did you know he had caught it?
Yes. And it was amazing that I talked to Bobby Bonds. I played with Bobby Bonds in St. Louis for a year, and I asked Bobby about that catch. And Bobby said it just was amazing. What a player.
Well, there's no Willie Mays in the Giants lineup these days, but the closest thing is the guy at the plate. Buster Posey, former National League Rookie of the Year, former MVP, and having the best batting average season of his career. Remember, he won a batting title in 2012. Hit .336 that year. He's hitting .345 this year. And he bounces one out for Cabrera. And that's the first out. So Montero's retired the first 4.
1,900 RBIs. Oh my goodness.
Remember, he missed 2 years in the 50s in military service.
He's the greatest player I ever saw. You know, I wasn't around to see Joe DiMaggio, but my eyes never saw a better ball player.
And you know how Candlestick played, and he played there from 58 until he was traded to the Mets in 72, or 60 was when Candlestick opened. So you wonder, with those 660 home runs, how many home runs did that ballpark cost him? But
as Rusty said, Willie knew how to use right field too, and he could hit the ball out to right center. But I understand what you're saying, because the ballpark was open back when he played. It wasn't enclosed for the 49ers, and that wind blew in from left field strong.
Well, especially when you compare him to Henry Aaron, whose career ran concurrent with his, and who hit almost 100 more home runs. His belt bunts for a base hit. He tried to do that earlier in the series, and Jacob deGrom threw him out. This time he bunted it perfectly to the open left side, and he's the first Giants base runner of the game.
Well, I mean, it's right there. It's beckoning. You put it down there, you got a base hit.
So now Brandon Crawford with a runner aboard. Crawford 1 for 6 in this series. And he bloops one behind short. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Bell pulls in at second. Crawford with a pop fly single, and the Giants have something working. First and second and 1 out.
They have something working, but this has been a team that has struggled to capitalize. He gets jammed right there. Look at the inside out. Got tied up inside, and a little flare.
So now the rookie Ryder Jones made his major league debut yesterday, went 0 for 4. Saw his numbers in AAA, 10 home runs, .299 batting average. Second round draft pick in 2013. First and second and 1 out. And Jones goes after the slider, 0-1. Ryder Jones grew up in a baseball family. His dad was the baseball coach at Appalachian State University, and so he graduated from high school in North Carolina. His dad's now an assistant at Tulane. Billy Jones. Ryder Jones was not only an infielder but also a pitcher in college, in high school I should say, and had an offer to go to Stanford, where he could have been a two-way player, but decided to sign with the Giants instead. He has been well traveled, living the itinerant life as the son of a college coach. Montero looking good in the early going, ahead on Jones 0-2. This is with a slider, 1 and 2.
Another kid coming up with a big number, 63. All these everyday players with these football numbers, lineman numbers.
Well, the kid on deck, Slater, he's got more of a linebacker.
Right.
Number.
63 is more like a guard.
Right. 1-2 coming. And it's taken low. 2-2 to Jones. Belt at second, Crawford at first with one out. 2-2 for Montero, and it's hit out to center field. Granderson coming on, and that's the second out. Joe Jones is retired. 2 out and 2 on for the number 8 hitter Austin Slater. Slater has swung the bat well in this series. 3 hits and 7 at bats. He came up about 3 weeks ago, and he's hit well, filling what has been a black hole position for the Giants in left field. A bunt single and a bloop single, and the Giants have 2 on with 2 out, and Montero trying to fight his way through it, and Slater swings over the slider, 0-1. Well, so far, if the goal was for Montero to fill the strike zone, he has certainly done a better job of that than in his earlier starts.
He is looking for his 2nd career win.
First one came in September of 2014 when he beat the Rockies. Off the plate, a ball and a strike. When Montero first came up, and you know the story, he came up to be a starter, and DeGrom came up at the same time to be a reliever. The word was that he was a precision pitcher, that he would throw 93, 94, but he would hit corners, never walk people. And at the big league level, it's been just the opposite. That's driven to right field, coming over is Bruce, and he makes the catch, side retired. First hard hit ball against Montero, but Bruce able to grab Slater's line drive to end the inning. After 2 in San Francisco, 3-0 New York. Kayaks are lying in wait out in McCovey Cove. Look at them.
That's a bird's eye view.
Last 10 years for the Giants, much has gone right and much recently has gone wrong. 3 World Series titles in 2010, 12, and 14. Curtis Granderson leads off in the 3rd and takes outside for ball 1. But how about this? Last year at the All-Star break, the Giants were 57 and 33.
Little did they know.
I mean, that's driven to left field, a base hit for Granderson, overcomes Slater to cut it off. And so Curtis is on base for the 2nd time, a leadoff walk in the 1st, and now a leadoff base hit in the 3rd. So since the All-Star break last year, when they were 57 and 33, the Giants are 57 and 92. I mean, it just all collapsed the second half of the year last year, and it's only gotten worse this season. 27 and 50. First time since 1902 that the Giants have lost 50 of their first 77 games.
Bruce Bochy right there trying to find the answers. They didn't address their problems in the bullpen. Well, they got Melanson, who hasn't pitched up to snuff. He's been kind of hurt a little bit, but I mean, overall, the entire bullpen, it was the big culprit last year. They lost so many games in that bullpen, and it's happening again this year.
Well, their bullpen was so good for so long through their 3 World Series titles, and with much of the same personnel. I mean, you think about guys like Sergio Romo and Javier Lopez and Santiago Casilla. That goes right through the wickets on Ryder Jones and into left field. Granderson will go to third. Cabrera heads for second, and he'll arrive there safely. So the rookie third baseman Ryder Jones, on what looked like a tailor-made double play ball, lets it go right between the wickets, and the Mets have runners at second and third.
That is a 2-base error, and open the floodgates.
That's embarrassing.
Well, you know, it happens, but when your club's playing bad, and you're a young player trying to make an impression, you know, you don't want to do things like that.
Well, Bruce Bochy dropped the E word yesterday after the game. He was asked about the Giants losing their 50th game, and he said it can be embarrassing. And, you know, that's not easy for a manager to say. Infield comes in for Bruce, and the slider off the plate for ball 1. But for a team that has been so successful for so long, this Giants team is just gone completely in the opposite direction.
And I was talking with Mike Krukow and Dwayne Kuiper, who are the TV voices over there for the Giants.
Bruce with a tapper back to the mound. Moore holds the runners and gets the first out.
Oh, that'll make you angry right there, Gary. Oh, nothing is more frustrating than you get up and in and you get tied up and you hit a little nubber back with the runners in scoring position. But getting back to what Kuiper and Krukow said, it's been such a good run for them. They've had so many good teams year in, year out. And there's the abracadabra walk to Wilmer.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's a great appellation right there. The abracadabra walk. that might stick.
At least in our broadcast.
Well, that's really all that matters right here. Anyway, you were talking about the Giants.
They're just talking about how poorly the teams played, and basically the pitching staff, there's only around 2 guys on the pitching staff that they'd bring back, 2 or 3 guys. And then I just told them, guys, you guys have had a great run, man, and this is the first time you're in the middle of latter part of June and you're playing meaningless games.
But you think about how the Giants had success over the years when they won. They did it with great starting pitching, a minimal amount of offense. Here's Duda with the bases loaded, and a fantastic bullpen. And those guys all got old at the same time is really what happened. First Jeremy Affeldt retired, then Romo and Casilla and Lopez.
Right.
And you know, they haven't been able to replace all those guys. And it was great to bring in Melanson. He's had a tough year. It was a good move, but they haven't built up that bullpen around him. And the starting pitching hasn't been very good either. Duda swings and misses at the slider, 1-1.
30 blown saves last year for the Giants. And you look at their wins, and the 30 blown saves was a franchise record. And when you lose games late, Gary, those are demoralizing losses. You know, you get blown out, you lose by 8-4. Those things happen. But when you have tight games and are leads late and you blow them, that knocks a team down.
Duda strikes out for the second out. There's a big strikeout for Moore after the intentional walk to Flores. Went all breaking stuff to Duda and got him for the second out, his second strikeout.
Chasing the bad breaker. He's not out of the woods yet, though, Mr. Moore. 1 more out to get. And Rivera hit a bullet right at the left fielder his first time up.
Mets have the bases loaded on a hit by Granderson, an error and an intentional walk, and TJ trying to make something of it. And he takes the changeup for a strike. 0-1. Granderson at third. Cabrera at second. Flores at first. And Rivera takes it high. A ball and a strike. Matt Moore has been pitching out of the stretch virtually this entire game. That's about the leadoff man on in every inning. And TJ fouls it away, and now it's 1-2. Michael Conforto hitting 7th in the order. He would be next. Now the 1-2, and it's too high. Moore came into the day having given up 102 hits in 85 innings. Very hittable. Average against him 297. But with 2 outs and runners on base this year, the average against him is 203. So he's been able to find his way out of situations like this. He's 2-2 to TJ Rivera. And it's bounced slowly. Jones comes in. Makes the throw on the move in time to retire the side. So Jones makes the error to open the door, but Moore able to slam the door and keep the Mets off the board. Still 3-0 New York. Sitting out there in the middle of the bay, all by itself. Impossible to escape. The Rock.
The currents.
Alcatraz.
Currents are treacherous.
Don't try it. Matt Moore leads off in the home third inning and takes a strike. Moore 2 for 22 this year. Lifetime .083 hitter. So far so good for Rafael Montero. He's come out throwing strikes today. Gave up a couple of soft hits in the second inning, but was able to work out of it. And it's on the outside corner, and he's got his second strikeout of the day as he fans Matt Moore. So 1 out in the home third. Sunday, July 2nd is a McDonald's Family Sunday. The Mets take on the Phillies at 1:10 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Mets batting helmet presented by Toyota. Plus, kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game in the Mr. Med Dash, courtesy of Northwell Health. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. Second time through the batting order now for Montero. Denard Span fouled out to the catcher his first time up. And he pops this one up in foul ground. Flores hoping, but that'll be beyond his reach as Flores hit that railing hard.
Wilmer.
It's like he didn't know it was coming.
break a rib.
That's why they have a warning track, so you have some idea when that railing arrives.
Boy.
I think he tripped over the lower portion of that padding there, which is what sent him careening into the railing. But none the worse for wear. The third base umpire Marvin Hudson went in and fixed the padding. You got to replace your divots, don't you?
You got to replace your padding.
Span lines one toward the middle, and he's got a base hit. So Denard Span with the third Giants hit, a 1-out single. Time for our Verizon trivia question. Who are the 4 players with 40-40 seasons? 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. I got 1. I got 2. I got 2.
I got none.
No?
I can't focus.
Okay. Here's Joe Panik with 1 out and 1 on. Panik struck out his first time up. By the way, we were talking about older players earlier. Ichiro Suzuki today is playing center field for the Miami Marlins, becoming the oldest starting center fielder in modern Major League history at 43 plus. Ricky Henderson had been the oldest, also 43, but Ichiro even older. That's lined over short, a base hit for Panik. And so the Giants with back-to-back hits against Montero as they start their second time through the order.
Pecking away here, fastball away, went right with it.
So 2 aboard and 1 out, and Hunter Pence will come up. Pence grounded out to short his first time up. So the second straight inning that Montero's had a couple of base runners to contend with, but this time he's got to face the middle of the batting order with Pence at the plate and Posey on deck. Span at second, Panik at first with 1 out. TJ Rivera hanging around the bag at second base to keep an eye on Span, who might have ideas about trying to steal third.
Oh, he better make it down 3 runs.
And Pence takes ball 1. Now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Just mentioned this, but it is remarkable that at age 43 and almost 44, Ichiro can go out there and play center field. We'll see the Marlins starting on Tuesday night in Miami, the Mets' next series. Outside to Pence, and Montero digging the hole a little deeper behind 2-0. This is the guy you've got to get. Pence has not been swinging the bat well, and Posey on deck has.
Well, Pence is one of those guys with one swing, Gary, you break out. You know, you don't want it to happen here. You want to get out of Dodge and keep these guys mired in their slumps.
And it's off the plate. Now it's 3-0. So Montero, who coming into the day had walked 19 batters in 26 innings, hasn't walked anybody yet today. But now behind on Pence in a tight spot in the third, trying to protect a 3-0 lead. And there's a strike, 3-1. Well, that's career for Montero.
That's not good.
I say that's way too many walks.
That's almost 200 base runners, 175 to be exact, over 99 2/3. Not a recipe for success.
And he bounces the 3-1 changeup. Why he's throwing a 3-1 changeup with Posey on deck, I have no idea.
Well, this is what I've said in the open, Garrett. Now Dan Warthen's going to have a talk. You got a young pitcher out here, and you're asking him in a tight situation to throw a 3-1 changeup, and you can't ask him to do that. He's not there. And
that's got to be on Rivera as much as it's on Montero. You got a veteran catcher back there.
You throw a fastball, and you just try to locate it, and you try to get a ground ball, a double play. You got 8 gloves out there. Now you got a free pass, and the bases are loaded. I don't understand.
And you bring the best hitter the Giants have to the plate in a game-breaking situation. So a real test for Montero now. He got Posey to ground out his first time up.
The wrong guy to have up. And he's got a rare opportunity to have a drive in a couple runs. Only 28 RBIs, hitting over 340.
Span at third, Panic at second, Pence at first with 1 out. 3-0 New York, third inning. And a moment of truth for Rafael Montero. And that's 5 in a row out of the strike zone. 4 grand slams in Posey's career. And he gets the changeup over for a strike, and it's 1-1. Brandon Belt waiting on deck. Montero and Rivera having trouble getting on the same page.
Well, Montero takes a long time to pitch. He's a slow poke out there.
See the encouragement from Rivera. And he misses outside with the fastball. 2-1.
Not by much.
Got a young home plate umpire today, Tom Woodring. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-1 to Posey. And he drives 1 out to right. Bruce back, makes the catch, tagging at third is Span. He'll come in with the first Giants run. Over to third goes Panic. Sacrifice fly for Posey, cuts the Mets lead to 3-1.
I must say, these San Francisco fans are into their team, into this game, on a team that has lost 50 ball games and over 20 games out of first place. He's just looking to go the other way. He wanted to get more than just a sac fly.
So now Montero with a chance to limit the damage. First and third and 2 out with a run home. And here is Belt, who bunted for a hit his first time up. Yesterday he tried to bunt for a hit early in the game against DeGrom, was thrown out. Later in the game, hit one over the fence in left center. And that one skips in. A first pitch slider from Montero, ball 1. And Rivera did well to keep that in front of him.
Good slider right there from Montero. Good spot. Boy, if you can do this all the time, you're gonna. Oh, he's out in front too. He just. Wow, that is a big swing and a miss.
1-1 to Belt. Goes right back to the slider and gets ahead 1-2.
2 back-to-back in great location. And again, he's out in front. I'm just not reading that at all. 1 and 2 pitches. He can do anything he wants here. He's got a pitch to waste, and Rivera wants another slider. Don't hang it.
1-2. He fouled it back. So he missed the first one badly, came a little closer on the second one, fouls off the third one. Time to try something else.
The trouble when you keep throwing that slider is if you hang it down. He's a low ball hitter, Gary, and you want to get a slider down. If you don't get it down and in, and you get it over the middle, he can lose it. He's got a changeup now, you know. He's got him out in front on that breaking ball. A little sinking change. Get him to roll it over. I don't know. Let's see what he wants. Oh, he wants him to throw over. Oh, he does not.
Too high with the fastball, and it's 2-2. Belt yesterday hit a first pitch curveball from DeGrom over the left center field fence for his 14th home run. He leads the Giants in home runs.
Slider right back to it.
2-2 coming. Pence runs, pitch inside, throw by Rivera. Pence is out, side retired. Pence taking off on the 2-2 pitch and gets thrown out by Rene Rivera. They're going to hold everybody on the field to see if the Giants want to challenge the call. But if it stands, that's the third out.
And boy, you can't do this with your home run hitter up there. Let's see the tag. Oh, I can't tell there.
Well, did he get him on the shoulder, or
if he got him on the shoulder, he's out.
And the Giants will not challenge. Cabrera makes the tag. Pence is out.
Gosh darn.
Side retired.
No business trying to steal there. No business.
So the Giants settle for just the 1 run. Mets lead 3-1 after 3. Mets with a 3-1 lead. Michael Conforto leads off against Matt Moore. Conforto flied out his first time up and takes cutter for a strike. Well, here's another look at that tag at second base. Hunter Pence trying to steal second, and Cabrera just barely got him.
He's out, no doubt.
And Conforto down on 3 pitches to start the 4th. First time today that Moore's retired the leadoff hitter. See all the hot moments from some of the top high school ballers as SNY and Overtime team up to bring you the best New York City hoops highlights all summer long. Check it out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Well, Rene Rivera is having himself quite an afternoon. In the first 3 innings alone, he's made a great play on a foul pop-up, hit a 2-run homer, and thrown out Pence trying to steal, and he drives this one to deep left field. Slater goes back, takes a look, and it's out of here. Rene Rivera with his 2nd home run of the day. Did I say he was having a good afternoon? It got even better. 4-1 New York.
Incredible.
5th home run of the year for Rivera on the first pitch he saw from Matt Moore.
Down and in again.
That is his first career multiple home run game. So Rene going places he's never been before. 2 home runs today for the first time in his career. A couple of great defensive plays to boot. And it's only the 4th inning. What's he got in reserve? Keep in mind, Rene Rivera played his first major league game in 2004. He now has 31 career home runs. And the first time ever he's had 2 in 1 game. Now 0-2 to Montero. Still looking for his first big league hit. He's 0 for 22 in his career. Well, Rene hadn't started a game since since Tuesday in Los Angeles, and he had it all saved up for today. Montero skips out of the way, and it's 1-2. Fourteen home runs now allowed by Matt Moore this season. He's a look at the Spectrum high-speed pitch. Montero by an MPH. And Montero takes a curveball for strike 3 call. That's the 4th strikeout for Moore. 2 out of the inning. And now Curtis Granderson, who's been on base twice, walked and scored in the first inning, singled to left in the 3rd. So Curtis continues to produce out of that leadoff spot that he has reclaimed during the course of this road trip. Fire department's at the ready. And Curtis takes a strike. 1-1. Granderson now 4 for 10 in this series, having himself quite a road trip, and almost all of it against lefties. 2-1. Nets faced just 6 left-handed starters in their first 60 games, 8 in their last 14 games. And it's in for a strike, and it's 2-2. 28-year-old Matt Moore, acquired by the Giants last summer in a deal with Tampa Bay. The Giants gave up a talented infielder in Matt Duffy, but Duffy suffered an Achilles injury and has not played all year for Tampa Bay. So it's a deal that hasn't really worked out that well for either side. 3-2 coming, and Granderson is on base again. Second time he's walked today, the 3rd given up by Moore, and Granderson now on base for the 3rd straight time. So now it's Cabrera, who's 0 for 2 today. Flied out and then reached on an error On a ball that scooted between the legs of Ryder Jones on a potential double play ball. That's bypassed an opportunity in the third inning to tack on. They had the bases loaded, 1 out, but couldn't score. But Rene Rivera's second home run of the game has tacked on a run here in the fourth.
Well, that was a wise throw over right there with 2 outs. If Curtis can get a jump, it's worth trying to pilfer a bag here.
3 stolen bases on the year for Granderson. Backdoor breaking ball in for a strike. 0-2 to Cabrera. It's been quite a 48 hours for Asdrubal, returning from the disabled list, making public his trade demands, going out and having 2 great games to start this series, moving back to shortstop today to give Reyes a day off. Funny thing is, he looked as comfortable playing second base today as any Met has this season.
Well, he's played there before.
And that's what Terry said. He said, I knew he could play second base.
What's the gripe?
Well,
you're in the lineup.
That's carved into right field for a base hit. Into second goes Granderson. So Cabrera has his 6th hit in 12 at bats since coming off the DL. No gripe there. 2 out and 2 on.
Fastball away. Oh, you see that more towards the middle. Not a good pitch.
So now Jay Bruce will try and cash in. Jay grounded out to drive in a run in the first, then had a big chance in the third. Second and third and nobody out, but had a comebacker on a check swing. Another chance here now with first and second and 2 out, and he goes after a first pitch breaking ball, 0-1. Granderson at second, Cabrera at first, wearing the oven mitt to protect that bulky left thumb. And Bruce goes after the high fastball, and it's 0-2. Giants starters ERA over their last 18 games is 7.16. They just haven't been able to stay in games. And Bruce goes down swinging on the breaking ball, and that retires the side. 5 strikeouts for Moore, but the Mets tack on a run on Rivera's second home run of the day. 4-1 New York in the fourth. Home fourth inning. Brandon Belt, who was left at the plate when Hunter Pence was caught stealing to end the third, leads off against Montero. It'll be Belt, then Brandon Crawford and Ryder Jones for the Giants in the fourth. Montero escaping that third inning jam with only 1 run scoring. And then his catcher Rene Rivera making up for that one. Rene Rivera's 2 home run game, not only the first of his career, but it's a record setter for Major League Baseball. It's the 27th straight day that a player has had a multiple home run game, and that's the longest stretch in Major League history.
Wow.
Yesterday tied the record of 26 set in 1999, and Rene Rivera puts that over the top. 27 days
wow.
in a row that one player or other has had at least 2 home runs in a game. Just one more indication of the vast proliferation of the home run ball in baseball this season.
Exhibit Z. There's so many exhibits.
2-2 to Belt. Below the knees on a changeup, and it's 3-2. Three infielders on the right side against Belt, who bunted for a hit his first time up. 3-2 coming from Montero, and he struck him out with a changeup. Third strikeout for Montero. 1 down in the home fourth.
Well, they threw him a bunch of. Look, he's out in front again. That's like a broken record. For you to be out in front of a breaking ball like that, you're really not picking it up.
Maybe he needs to wear sunglasses like Brandon Crawford. Those are some serious shades. Looks like a highway patrolman.
There she blows.
The Golden Gate Bridge off in the distance.
When I was a kid, I saw the USS Enterprise. It was the aircraft carrier come in under that bridge. When I was a young boy. Dad drove Gary and I out there, and we parked, and we knew the ship was coming in. And I was like 8 years old. It used to be the home of the Pacific Fleet here, and boy, what a huge ship that was. And to watch it come in under the Golden Gate Bridge, I still have a real vivid visual of it. Monstrous ship. Some of the things you never forget.
The Enterprise, huh?
Yep, not Kirk.
Boldly going where
Bull
no ship had ever gone before. 1-2 coming to Crawford. And the slider misses down. 2-2.
At least I think it was the Enterprise. It's such a long time ago. Gosh, if I was around 8 years old, you're going back to 1961. It's a long time ago.
2-2 for Montero, and Crawford yanks one foul. Well, they're celebrating the Summer of Love here today, the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love in San Francisco. So your aircraft carrier experience even predates that.
Yes, it does.
We're talking a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before many of our viewers were even born.
First year in Little League for me, too.
2-2 to Crawford, and that's too high. Second straight full count for Montero. One out and nobody on. Ryder Jones waiting on deck. Three-two to Crawford, and he fouls away the changeup. He really likes his changeup, even 3-1, 3-2. He's been throwing it regularly.
Yeah, it's a big difference, though, throwing it with men on base when you're in trouble as opposed to the base is empty.
Well, he threw it to Pence with a couple of men on in the third and walked him. And he goes after Crawford with the fastball and blows him away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Montero to start the home fourth. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. The 440-40 players. I've got Canseco and A-Rod. Who else?
I thought Barry, of course.
And Soriano. I forgot about it. That was
yes.
Was that when he was in Washington, or was?
I think it was Washington, not the Cubs.
Because he fell short one year with the Yankees, right, Soriano, by like 1 steal or 1 home run. And I think we might have seen him do it in Washington, playing in RFK in 2006.
RFK, I forgot all about that ballpark. Football field, I should say.
Well, the Senators played there. It was called DC Stadium then.
When did they leave Griffith Park? Didn't they play? Wasn't it Griffith Park?
I think it might have been the same name. Strike 3 called. Ryder Jones caught looking, and Rafael Montero strikes out the side in the 4th inning. Impressive work by Montero. 4-1 Mets after 4. Presented by GMC. Mets move on to Miami. Ronnie will be there for that. And then the Mets go home for a brief visit at Citi Field, that 3-game series with the Phillies. And after that, they're right back out on the road, going to Washington and St. Louis for the final week before the All-Star break. And so we're in a stretch where they're playing 16 of 19 on the road. There's Wilmer Flores, who has struck out and drawn an intentional walk, 0 for 1 today. And Matt Morris starts him off with a fastball for a strike. Driven to right center field, overcomes Span in the gap. He can't get there, and it rolls to the wall. And Flores has another extra base hit. Wilmer putting together quite a series. Now 6 for 9 with 3 doubles and a home run.
Well, I think Wilmer has broken out of his slump. And that's all there is to it. It's nice to see. He's hitting rockets now, and it's back same old Wilmer, just wearing out left-handers, but he's hitting them with some authority here. Extra base hits. And Span got a bad break on this, but still the ball is ripped. So good signs for Wilmer.
He looked like Billy Hatcher in the top of the 9th.
Off of Lenny? Not off of me, brother.
No, your ball he had no chance for.
Yeah, that was a short hop off the wall. Thank you. Lenny, yes, that was a lot of hang time in '86.
Here's Lucas Duda taking a curveball for a strike. Lucas has a base hit, 1 for 2. So memory was correct about Alfonso Soriano. That's hit out to left center field, a long way back in the gap. Span to the warning track, and it hits short hop off the wall. Flores read it well. He'll score easily. Back-to-back doubles for Flores and Duda, and the Mets add a run. It's now 5-1. So Duda having another good day against the left-hander. His 15th double, his 29th RBI.
And again, using the opposite field. Hit a home run off a lefty. He pulled yesterday. And here using left center field. And Lucas, that's against the wind a little bit. There's a breeze here. 382, that's a long way. And I just like Lucas using that left center field. There's not a ballpark that can hold him. He's so strong.
Dave Righetti, the Giants pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Moore. No action as yet in the Giants bullpen, but that should be about to change. George Contos is going to go down and warm up.
Yeah, they're kind of lighting him up a little bit here.
Well,
this is not a good outing.
Mets have scored in 4 of the 5 innings, and the only inning they didn't score, they had the bases loaded, and Moore was able to work his way out of it. 7
hits, 2 doubles. Of the 7 hits, 2 doubles and 2 home runs. Of course, the 2 home runs by Rivera. Rene.
Now TJ Rivera, who's 0 for 2 today, is lined out to left and grounded to third. Duda at second and nobody out. And TJ takes a breaking ball for a strike, and we check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Guys, the other day we started talking about players and their bats, a series we're going to be doing this season, and we spoke about TJ Rivera, but didn't get one really interesting nugget out there. And Keith, I really wanted your thoughts on this, because TJ Rivera generally uses a bat that's 33.5 inches long, but what he said is that sometimes when he faces lefties, as he skies this one into center field, first out of the inning, but sometimes when he faces lefties, he likes to use a 34-inch bat because he feels that lefties like to run that pitch away from righties. They have that arm side run, so he likes to have that extra half-inch on his bat. Is that something, Keith, that you ever did? Obviously not in the same situation, maybe when you were facing righties, or you saw anybody else do in your career?
No, I did not. I always used a 34.5 inch bat, and I choked up around an inch, and a 32.5 ounce. It was a relatively light bat for my era. Today it would be probably more of a heavy bat. If I had a pitcher that was getting me out on the outside corner and was painting the outside corner, whether he was a lefty or a righty, I would move closer to the plate. If I can't handle that outside pitch or that paint, then I would move it just an inch closer to the plate. The catcher doesn't see it. It's only an inch, 2 inches, and you got that much more coverage. That was the only adjustments I'd make. I moved around in the box a little bit as far as in closer to the plate and maybe moving back away.
You know, the other piece of that, Keith, is it seems as though, as Steve has done this series, and also anecdotally, as that ball skips in 3-0 to Conforto, that players now seem to use different bats for different situations much more than in your day. It seems as though in your day you guys stuck with what you knew.
You wanted to. The bat has to be a part of your body. It has to be an appendage. It has, and I was always taught the bat doesn't swing you. You swing the bat. So find something that feels good in your hands. I always liked the thin handle, medium barrel, the Coca-Cola barrel. Right, we had a little bit of that Coca-Cola look, and I used the cup at the end to get that extra. Because when they took that cup, when they bore in on the end of the bat, that's really another ounce of heavy wood that gets bore out, so you get better wood. But the bat just had to feel like it was a part of you. And the guys that swung heavy bats, I was just always amazed. The guys that swung the 38-ounce bats, oh my gosh. Rusty swung a big heavy bat.
But Gary, to your point, and obviously as we start to get into this series more and more, you'll see how different guys think differently. But I agree with you. I've been surprised by how many have said they use different bats. Wilmer Flores uses a lot of different bats. TJ Rivera does. We talked about Travis d'Arnaud already, whereas there's a guy like Jay Bruce.
As Conforto gets drilled, and that one came up and in and got him in the elbow or somewhere in that region. And he's holding more in his wrist and forearm area.
That's not a good place to be hit. And that's always that ulna bone right there on the outside part of the wrist. And you just hope nothing is, there's no break there. I've been hit a million times there, and it hurts because it's just bone. And the ball bites you.
Conforto's been hit more than any other Met. That's the 8th time this year. This was a 3-2 pitch that came running in on him, and he had no escape.
When you're hanging in there and you're driving at the pitcher, and the ball gets away from him. Yep, you see right there at Ulmer Park. I've been there, done that. It hurts. You'd rather take one, Gary, off your elbow than off the wrist.
Well, you got so many more little bones there in your hand and wrist that you're concerned about, but he's able to squeeze it okay, and that's what Ray Ramirez wanted to check. So Conforto's going to hang in there.
Nope, you're gonna.
And that's going to be all for Matt Moore. With Rene Rivera coming up, having already hit 2 home runs off the lefty, they'll bring in a right-hander to face him. And Moore's day is done. Giants will make a double switch. Connor Gillespie will come into play third. George Contos will come into pitch. And call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon. Double switch for the Giants. Connor Gillespie will play third base and bat ninth. George Contos in for the 2nd straight day.
Former New York Yankee has been with the Giants since 2012.
In to face Rene Rivera, who's having himself quite a day, and he nubs one down the right side. Grabbed by Belt. He'll take it himself for the 2nd out as the runners move up. That's the first thing that has gone even slightly wrong for Rivera today. What an afternoon he's had so far.
There's the home run, the first one. Mid-thigh, inner half. Same location. Same swing. Same result.
First 2 home run game of his career, and then tack on the defense. Great play on the pop-up. The good throw on the stolen base attempt by Pence. Adds up to quite an afternoon for Rivera. Now 2 in scoring position. Montero the batter, and he jumps away. Ball 1. Montero has grounded out and struck out, looking for his first big league hit and or his first big league RBI.
He's looking for his first win of the season.
Well, his first win in 3 seasons. How about that?
1-9 career record for Rafael. And I happen to think he's much better than that.
Well, certainly the recent results have been much better. Slowly hit back to the mound. And Contos balloons one to first in time to end the inning. Mets add a run on back-to-back doubles by Flores and Duda. We're halfway through in San Francisco. See if Conforto's okay. 5-1 Mets. Banking in your best interest. It comes from Hack Wilson, who has the single season RBI record. I think a lot of kids think because they have talent they have the world by the tail. It isn't so, Keith. It isn't so.
I understand.
You need to have many more things beside talent, like good advice and common sense.
Oh, that's nice advice from Hack. He didn't miss too many meals.
191 RBIs.
Oh, I know. It's still a record, right? Isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
191
and 100. That was a 154 game schedule back then.
Yes, it was.
That's incredible.
Austin Slater leading off in the home fifth inning. Rafael Montero needing 3 more outs to qualify for a victory. He's got himself a 5-1 lead. Connor Gillespie hitting in the 9 hole is on deck, and then Denard Span against Montero, who struck out the side in the 4th inning. Slater lined out to right with 2 men on to end the second in his only at bat. And the fastball away, 2-1. Montero has walked 1. He struck out 5. Allowed 1 run and 4 hits in his 3rd start of the year, in a far different affair than each of his first 2 starts, where he threw an enormous number of pitches early in the game. His last start, remember, he threw 45 pitches in the 1st inning against San Diego. And here he is working in the 5th inning and with a reasonable pitch count. So he's come a long way in a short period of time. Those 2 relief outings appear to have set him in the right direction, most recently against the Dodgers on Monday.
I think that he can be a very nice 4th and 5th starter on this rotation.
2-2, and Slater fouls it away.
I mean, if everybody's healthy, and he's having a tough time breaking in, but he can be your swing man, your doubleheader. He's your pitcher you throw in the 2nd game of a doubleheader, and he's your long man.
Well, right now he's the 6th guy, filling in with Zach Wheeler on the disabled list. Wheeler, by the way, threw a bullpen here today, threw over 70 pitches, and the Mets feel as though he will just miss the 1 start and then be ready to rejoin the rotation next weekend when he's eligible to come off the DL. Slater takes it on the outside corner, got him looking at a changeup, and that's 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Rafael Montero.
He's got a beautiful motion. I mean, he's very upright, nice leg kick, very relaxed. He doesn't rush. Look at the hand come down. Look at that. I like his motion. What little I know, I mean, I don't know the raw mechanics that Ronnie could bring to the. If Ronnie was here, but I just think he's got a smooth delivery.
Now Connor Gillespie up for the first time, 0 for 4 in this series.
With stiff leg in the now he comes to that stiff leg and now he bends. Look how low he gets. I don't see anything wrong with that, Gary.
Well, the issue with Montero has never been his mechanics. It's never been his stuff. That's a ground ball. Flores playing on the right side of the infield. That's a 5-3 put out for the second out. It's always been about his willingness to be aggressive and willingness to pound the strike zone, which he has done with regularity in the minors, but has eluded him at the big league level. Well, so far so good in this game.
Hey, if he can go deep into this game, it'll be wonderful.
Well, he couldn't leave early because he's the long man and he couldn't relieve himself. So here he is, 1 out away from getting through 5 with the lead. Span is 1 for 2 today. He scored the only Giants run and he pulls one foul. Nice job by Jose Alguacil, the first base umpire, to skip out of the way. First base coach, I should say.
Nice pronunciation of that name. It's not an easy one.
Alguacil?
Very well done. I'm very impressed.
I could say it again for you if you like.
No, that's okay.
Okay. To learn when to let things go. Fastball inside to Span, 1-1. Now Montero really got helped out in that third inning by that stolen base attempt by Hunter Pence. He was in a jam. A run was in. Giants were threatening for more with Belt at the plate, and he has not allowed a base runner since. The slider slipped out of his hand, and it's 2-1.
I always like it. They got the pennants up there by the American flag and the state of California flag, but to the right in the polls they got the pennants of the teams in the division, you see, and they have them in order of standing. Dodgers on top, Giants in the bottom. I love that. I always like that.
They have that at Wrigley Field as well. Span swings over that changeup, and it's 2-2.
He's mixing them up good. He's got a little roll here.
You know, if you look at Raphael's numbers from recent years, that changeup used to be more in the 84, 85 range. Now he's throwing at 88, 89, and it's a much more effective pitch. Less separation from his fastball, but maybe a little more movement. And the fastball just misses, 3-2. Two out and nobody on, 3-2 to Span, and he fouls it away. So the Dodgers are going for their 10th straight win this afternoon, trying to sweep the Rockies. Rockies were up 3-0 early, but Cody Bellinger has his 23rd home run for LA, and they're down 5-4 now in the 4th. Dodgers have won 9 straight and 15 of 16 to open up a 2.5 game lead in the West. 2.5 over Arizona, 3.5 over Colorado. What a run they're on. Last night, Kershaw. 3-2 again, and Span strikes out on the fastball to end the inning. 7 in a row retired by Montero, 5 of them via the strikeout. He now has 7 strikeouts for the day, and the Mets have a 5-1 lead after 5 in San Francisco. at-bats, 4 out of Rafael Montero through the first 5 innings. He's got a 5-1 lead as we start the 6th.
Keep it up.
Curtis Granderson's already been on base 3 times today, 2 walks and a single. Now facing George Contos, who misses with the first pitch breaking ball. Granderson, then Cabrera and Bruce against the Giant reliever. Contos got the final 2 outs in the 5th after Matt Moore exited. Moore allowed 5 runs and 7 hits over 4 1/3, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, a hit batsman, a wild pitch, 2 home runs. In danger of falling to 3 and 8 on the year as the Giants continue to struggle with their starting pitching. Johnny Cueto was terrific yesterday, but other than Cueto, there has not been much for the Giants to hang their hat on in the absence of Madison Bumgarner, whom they hope to have back inside of a month.
Well, they're going to be very, very careful with him, make sure he's ready, because this season is pretty much over for the Giants.
But you can understand why he'd be anxious to come back, particularly the way he got hurt.
Yep.
Got hurt in a dirt bike accident, not anything baseball related.
And you just want to make sure that he is 100% ready to go. Boy, Contos is taking forever. Let's go. Throw the ball.
2-2 to Granderson, and a slashed foul. Now this is what the Giants have missed with Bumgarner out. And of course his postseason performances have been legendary. Maybe the best postseason pitching performance ever in 2014. When the Giants won their 3rd title this decade. Granderson just got a piece of that off-speed pitch. But the Mets certainly know what it's like to lose an ace pitcher. Bumgarner will be back seemingly long before Noah Syndergaard is.
Goodness. Come on.
He is taking his time, isn't he?
I got time to go for get a soda pop in the back room.
7th pitch to Granderson, and he misses with the cutter, and it's 3-2. By the way, soda pop is an expression we don't hear very often in 2017.
No, I'm being very very dated.
Well, some parts of the country they call it soda, some parts they call it pop. Rarely are they combined anymore. There's ball 4 to Granderson, and he's on base for the 4th time today. Let's check in with the studio. Justine Ward has a game break brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Thanks, Justine. Jeanette 4 for 5, a homer, 2 RBIs. Rough outing for Tanner Roark.
Yeah, he got hit pretty hard.
Again. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who's 1 for 3 today. Had a base hit his last time up. And he bounces one just foul. 0-1.
I mean, the Nationals need Roark. Roark's been a big winner for them. 15-game winner.
Well,
I don't know what his problem is. He's going through a rough patch.
I'll say this, though. The other 3 guys have been so good, Scherzer, Strasburg, and Gio Gonzalez, that if they get to a postseason, they may just cast Roark aside, put him in the bullpen. Low and inside, 1-1. The Nationals with the loss today, still 9 games up on the Braves, who lost today. Mets with a chance to move to within 11. And we said this the other night. It's very unlikely that the Mets are going to make up all this ground, but they have time. 88 games to go, including today.
Oh, there's plenty of time.
And a lot of bad teams in the National League for the Mets to face and try and fatten up against. 1-1 to Cabrera, and he takes it low and away. I mean, they've got this series, and they've got the Marlins coming up. The Marlins, you know, have treaded water. Their starting pitching has struggled, but they've got a terrific offense. And then the Phillies, who've just been terrible. And then they get the Nationals again. And if, you know, they cut 3 or 4 games off this lead before they get to Washington, you know, who knows what might happen.
We'll see at the All-Star break where everything's at. Mets got to go to St. Louis.
They're not very good either.
No.
And that's the point. Outside of the 3 teams in the West, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies, and the Nationals, there just aren't a lot of good teams in the National League.
The only problem is, Gary, is that the Nationals are going to be playing those lousy teams too.
That's absolutely true.
You know, the Nationals they're a legitimate ball club.
Well, the big thing about Washington is because their best 3 starters have been so good, if those guys stay healthy, it's hard to envision them going on a long losing streak.
Correct. My feeling is look to Colorado and look to Arizona. That's where your focus has to be if you're a Met fan.
Double play ball. Panic with the backhand flip, and Crawford makes the turn for the 4-6-3 double play. 2 out and nobody on. Well, the Rockies have had a rough week. They lost 2 out of 3 to Arizona, and they've lost the first 2 of their series to the Dodgers. They lead 5-4 today in the 4th, but that would be the team, I think, that if you're a Met fan, you keep your eye on, because they do have so much young pitching in that rotation. And just this last time through, those guys have started to hit a little bit of a wall.
Well, they've only had what? No one's thrown over 70 innings in the big league level? Are those young pitchers?
I mean, they will get at some point John Gray back. That will help their rotation. They should get Chad Bettis back after working through cancer. So that will help them. But, you know, you don't know how those guys are going to pitch coming back either.
Bud Black has just done a terrific job with that ball club. Remember all those years he managed in San Diego. Took a couple years. Was it a couple years or a year he was was out of the game? I guess was not managing.
The 1 year, yeah.
For the 1 year, and I think it was a great pickup for hiring for Colorado. Former pitcher, former teammate in Cleveland.
Well, so far they have done a fantastic job, not only in terms of getting those young pitchers to buy into how you pitch at Coors Field, but also the Rockies, for the first time in their history, are winning on the road and winning regularly. And to me, that's a bigger part of the story, because their offense always used to bog down on the road after the free-flowing offense at Coors Field. Good cutter to Bruce, and it's 2-2. Jay's 0 for 3 today. Drove in a run with a first-inning ground out. Has been Contos' go-to pitch for a long time now. He's had some pretty good years with the Giants, pitching a lot of innings out of the bullpen. And Bruce hooks one through the shift and into right field for a base hit. So he went right back to the cutter, and Bruce got on it for his first hit of the day.
Jay is really quietly having a spectacular season for the Mets. 50 RBIs, 19 home runs. I mean, he could hit 40 home runs. He's on a pace for it.
So the Mets have their 8th hit of the afternoon, and here's Flores. Wilmer doubled to right center his last time up and scored a run in the 5th. Wilmer now 6 for 9 in this series, with 4 extra base hits after a very rough go in LA, and he drives this one into left center. That's in for a base hit. Span cuts it off. Bruce will go first to third, and Wilmer Flores has his 2nd hit of the day, and the Mets have runners at the corners with 2 out.
Boy, you just go back one series, the 4-game series in Los Angeles, and Wilmer just didn't look like he never had a bat in his hands. A lot of swings and misses. Isn't it amazing?
He went 1 for 14 in the series in LA. He's 7 for 10 in this series.
Usually when you break out red hot.
So now it's Duda, who's 2 for 3 today, a single and a double. All that against the left-hander Moore. Now gets to face the right-hander Contos. And the changeup in the dirt for ball 1. By the way, with that hit, Flores moved his batting average back over 300. He's at 301 with his 2 hits today. Duda is 5 for 11 in this series with 4 extra base hits. So a couple of guys in Flores and Duda who had really been struggling coming into this series. They've broken out in a big way. Of course, everybody did Friday night. Mets had 20 hits in that first game of this series. I think they had 5 guys with 3 hits in that game.
Yes, they did.
Yep, including Duda. One to Lucas.
Well, what's noteworthy in this game today is Curtis Granderson being on base all 4 times. 1 for 1, a run scored, and 3 walks. And you like that from a leadoff hitter.
Cody Guerin goes to work in the Giants bullpen. Contos has given up a walk and 2 hits here in the 6th inning. Got the double play in between. And now with a chance to pitch through it. 2-1 to Duda. And it's low and away. 3-1. TJ Rivera would be next. Now a full count.
We're going to put the clock on Contos.
Oh, we're going with the Dice K clock.
Oh,
we haven't broken out the Dice K clock in a long time.
He's putting me to sleep. Not bad.
Flores gets set to run. 3-2 to Duda. And Lucas goes down swinging to end the inning. So the Mets get a couple of hits and a walk in that inning, but come up empty against Contos. We go to the bottom of the 6th in San Francisco. 5-1 New York. San Francisco. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brandon Nimmo has come in to play left field, and the Mets will hold their breath now Michael Conforto got hit on the left hand by a pitch earlier in this game and now comes out, and I'm sure they will take him for x-rays. Got hit on the outside of the left hand by a Matt Moore fastball, and you just hope there's nothing broken in there.
Yep.
Joe Panik leading off in the home 6th inning against Rafael Montero. Panik has struck out and singled, 1 for 2. Josh Edgen hydrating as he heads down to the bullpen. Montero, those had a terrific afternoon so far. And he gets the slider in for a strike, 1-2.
He's been painting those left-hand hitters' wagon with that slider down and in. He's been very impressive with that pitch.
Effective slider, effective changeup. It's been a nice day for Montero. Comes inside to Panik, and it's 2-2. Hunter Pence on deck, and then Buster Posey for the Giants in the 6th. Montero pushing toward 90 pitches. He threw 90 in a 3-inning start earlier this year. Now here he is in the 6th. 2-2. And the changeup misses. 3-2. Montero has struck out 7 today, including 5 of the last 6 hitters.
That funky practice swing of Pence.
And Panik takes outside, ball 4.
Just don't like that call, Gary.
3-2 changeup with a 4-run lead, but look at how good his changeup has been.
It's been great. I mean, there it is. You can't get any better. You want it. That one he got in, and I never like a changeup inside. But his motion is no giveaway in the motion. Look at that. That's the one I like. That starts out a little about 2 inches above the knees and then sinks around 3 inches below, out of the strike zone. That's a good one. But he doesn't give it away. There's no giveaway in his arm speed, any change of delivery. Very deceptive.
That last pitch missed by Rivera. I think it hit the home plate umpire. Or did Rivera get a piece of this? Now Cabrera coming in to try and settle down Montero, who's just seen the leadoff batter reach for the first time today. And now facing Pence, who walked in the 3rd inning. Giants loaded the bases with 1 out in that 3rd. Got a run on a sac fly, and then Pence was thrown out trying to steal 2nd to end the inning, which allowed Montero to settle back in. And a knee-high fastball for a strike, 1-1.
Pence is another guy that chokes up on the bat. We're seeing more and more of that in today's game.
Chokes up on the bat, chokes up on the pant legs.
Good pitch.
94 on the corner, and it's 1-2.
He never steps out of the box. He always keeps that back foot anchored, but his front foot he steps out of the box with.
He's got that knee hole in his sock. Changeup just misses, 2-2. I mean, how many guys pull up their pants so high that you can see the hole in the knee of the sock?
I can't say that I prefer that. Look at that. Oh, geez.
2-2 coming. Grounded toward the hole, past a diving Flores and into left field. A base hit for Pence. And so the Giants have the first 2 men on in the 6th. A seeing eye hit for Pence. And now Posey will come up with 2 men on. And I've got a feeling that Montero is going to get just 1 more batter.
Ball found a hole there. Not hit hard.
Well, you got Posey at the plate. Then you got the 2 left-hand hitters, Belt and Crawford. Edgen getting ready in the bullpen. Montero at 96 pitches. So this should be it for Rafael. Posey drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd, the only Giant run today. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And Posey takes fastball outside, ball 1. And we're going to get some further action in the Mets bullpen as well. Paul Sewald will join Edgin. Panic at second, Pence at first, nobody out. And Posey takes it off the plate. And Montero behind 2-0.
That didn't miss by much. The good hitters get those calls.
I was just about to say, you said the same thing the last time that Posey was up. Pitch that just missed to him for ball 2 that at bat, and again this time. And the changeup in for a strike, 2-1. Well, he has not been fearful of showing that changeup at any time. And now about to throw his 100th pitch of the afternoon. And Posey fouls it off, 2-2.
Good up and in fastball.
So Montero trying to finish strong. Panic at second, Pence at first with nobody out. Two coming to Posey. Just missed. 3-2. And Montero wanted that one. You see him jumping up and down.
Boy, oh boy. These are so close.
Young home plate umpire Tom Woodring not registering those. And so now it's 3-2. And Posey fouls it away. 96 from Montero, the hardest pitch he's thrown all day.
Glad he threw a fastball.
Now, he knows exactly where he's at here, that this is likely going to be his last man, and trying to let it all hang out. You got one of the best hitters in baseball at the plate. Started the day second in the National League in batting to Ryan Zimmerman. Three and 2 to Buster Posey. The runners go, and Posey fouls it off. There's an interesting call by Bruce Bochy, down by 4 runs.
He's trying to make something happen with his team that has just been so struggling, and you got your best hitter up there, tough strikeout. Took a heck of a cut on that fastball.
Well, when Posey hits the ball on the ground, it's almost an automatic double play. So I'm sure that's what Boch had in mind. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat from Montero to Posey. Runners go. A little flare. Duda is going to grab it. Chance for a double play. Throws to second. Gets the out there. He could have gone to first or to second, but he got the lead man, and it's a 3-6 double play, and there are 2 out in the inning. So the best of all possible results for Montero, with the Giants putting the runners in motion, and that'll be the final pitch he throws today.
Well, this wasn't hit. He comes inside the fastball. See, I hope he learns from that, Gary. Ties up Posey. Ball's not hit high enough for an infield fly. So the umpires made the correct call. I hope he learns something from that. It's just, you don't get yourself in trouble with men on base with a 3-2 slider or changeup. Go after those hitters.
So Montero takes his exit after 5 2/3. A terrific start from Montero today. A chance for his 2nd ever major league win. Edgin coming in to replace him. 5-1 Mets in the 6th. We'll be right back. Josh Edgen will work for the first time in 5 days. Comes in to face Brandon Belt. And a first pitch slider off the plate for ball 1.
Well, Duda, though, there's the numbers for Edgen right there. He's been having a tough little run of late. But Duda on that pop-up got the lead runner. He could have got either base. It was an easy out. But he wisely got the lead runner. Got that runner out of scoring position. Good heads up, Lucas.
I have just one question about that play. If he had gone to first where Montero was covering, did Montero then have time to go to second for a possible triple play?
I don't think so.
Because it took Panic a long time to get back to second base.
I'd have to see it again.
Yeah. Check swing, and Belt went around. And now Edgen up in the count 1-2.
It was good that, well, Montero is heads up too. He covers the base.
Now watch where Panic is trying to get back to second. Could they have gotten both?
Maybe. Maybe.
Would have had to be really quick.
Yes. Though. Boom, boom, huh?
1-2 coming. Breaking ball got him. Josh Edgen comes in and gets Belt on a strikeout to end the inning. And the Giants, after getting the first 2 men on, are turned aside. After 6 in San Francisco, 5-1 New York. A 20 for Stanton, 20 for Ozuna, 18 for Bohr. The guys in the middle of that order really hitting for some power. Gorkys Hernandez into play left field. Corey Guerin is the new pitcher for the Giants. And T.J. Rivera leads off the 7th inning and takes a strike.
Well, those are the numbers for Guerin. He's been around quite some time. The journeyman reliever.
Worked 2 scoreless innings in Friday night's series opener. Rivera 0 for 3 today. And he gets one off the end of the bat. Shallow center. Span coming on. He won't get there, and it drops for a base hit. Then he kicks it around, but TJ will hold it first. So a pop fly single for TJ Rivera, his first hit of the day. And the Mets' 10th hit of the afternoon.
Off the end of the bat. TJ's gotten a couple bloopers on this road trip. Take them.
Now Now Brandon Nimmo will come up for the first time. Nimmo came in an inning after Michael Conforto was hit on the hand by a pitch. No word yet on Michael's condition. Nimmo 0 for 1 in this series and takes the fastball outside from Guerin. We do not know why Austin Slater came out in left field. Gorky Hernandez came in. Didn't make any sense in terms of a double switch for the Giants. Since Belt made the last out. So the left fielder was due to bat third in the inning, so that doesn't help the batting order at all for Bruce Bochy. So perhaps there's some issue with Slater. Two 2-0 to Nimmo with Rene Rivera, who's having a huge day, waiting on deck. Guerin, the third Giants pitcher of the afternoon. And Nimmo fouls one at the plate. 2-1. George Contos went an inning and 2/3 in relief for San Francisco. No runs, 2 hits. Bochy does have a slightly more fortified bullpen today. I don't know if it'll come into play or not. As Nimmo skies one foul, and that will land untouched. 2-2. The Giants get Hunter Strickland back from suspension today. They've been playing a man short. Strickland, remember, was involved in that dust up with Bryce Harper when Harper charged the mound and threw his helmet. And Harper's already served his suspension, and then Strickland's suspension was upheld for 6 games, and yesterday was the last of the 6, so they've got him back today. Two-two to Nimmo, and it just misses low and in. Full count. Nimmo has yet to start a game since coming back from the minors, but has done a nice job coming in off the bench. And here today, coming in for Conforto. 3-2 with nobody out, and TJ draws a throw. Mets 5 runs, 10 hits. The Giants 1 run and 5 hits. We're in the 7th. Rivera's running, and it's outside, ball 4, and the Mets have 2 men on. So Nimmo works out a walk. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. By Mazda, driving matters. And by Spectrum, join America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider. Get the Spectrum Triple Play today. So the Mets threatening again in the 7th. 2 on and nobody out. Rene Rivera, who's already hit 2 home runs today, facing Cody Guerin. Runs one inside, ball 1. Rivera's first career multiple home run game. He hit a 2-run shot in the 2nd, and then a solo blast in the 4th against Matt Moore, helping Major League Baseball to a record 27th straight day with at least one player having a multi-home run game. And at 33 years of age, his first. Popped up. This time they'll call the infield fly rule as Crawford battles the sun, and that's the 2nd out. The 1st out, excuse me. So Rivera retired on the infield fly, 1 away, and now Jose Reyes will come up to pinch hit. Reyes getting the day off today. He'd been playing every day at shortstop recently. Had a triple in yesterday's game. Went 1 for 4. Reyes now with 1,416 hits. 2 behind Ed Kranepool for second on the Mets all-time list, trailing only David Wright. 2 on and 1 out. And Reyes takes a changeup for a strike, 0-1. Reyes hits a double play ball. Panic to Crawford, back to first, not in time. Reyes with just enough speed to beat it out and keep the inning alive.
I'm not so sure that if he would have been out, I think Belt came way off the bag here. I don't know whether Reyes had it beat. Yes, he had it beat.
Well, we saw it when he legged out his triple yesterday. He may not be as fast as he used to be, but he's still faster than most guys.
Yep.
Certainly faster than anybody else on this team. So now 1st and 3rd and 2 out. Here's Granderson, who's been on base 4 straight times, a single and 3 walks. Look and listen play at first.
Clearly beat it. And he was on the. Ooh, he did cheat a little bit, didn't he?
Not cheating if you get away with it.
That's right, and you can't get away with it now.
So that's an interesting point. I mean, we've talked a lot about the neighborhood play at second base going away because of the way they changed the slide rule. But in essence, there used to be a bit of a neighborhood play at first.
Yep.
If you could cheat a little bit coming off the bag as
it
a
was,
first baseman.
It was an art. It was taught to me by Ron Fairley. And that's been taken away from the game.
How many outs a year you think you got
I don't
cheating
know.
at first base?
I really don't know, Gare.
Half a dozen, maybe a dozen.
Definitely,
over the course of a season?
Definitely not double digits. Definitely not. Because the only time you cheat is when it's tie base, or he's going to beat it by a boom boom. Because if you got him out, don't cheat. Should be called out. So you're hoping for the gift.
0-2 to Granderson and well outside. Well, Curtis all of a sudden has become a renewed force at the top of this batting order. And you got to figure as long as he keeps hitting, he's going to keep getting plugged into that leadoff spot. Getting his hits, getting his walks, hitting for power. Doing all the things that he's done for the last couple of seasons for the Mets at the top of that batting order. He had been supplanted as the leadoff hitter by Conforto, but Michael had tailed off, and now Granderson hitting again, and now still waiting to hear what the condition is of Michael's hand after getting hit by a pitch earlier today. Boy, these relief pitchers can take their time, can't they?
Good Lord. It's like they're going for an audition.
TJ Rivera at third, Reyes at first with 2 out, and Guerin and Posey having trouble figuring out what to throw next. One's a fastball. Two coming. Reyes runs. Granderson pulls one down the line. Foul. At home run distance, but he hooked it into the drink.
Is there a mad? Where's the mad dash for the ball?
Does it count? Can you even want the ball if it's
there?
foul?
He goes.
Well, Dave got it. Nice job, Dave. It's faster than Burkhardt ever was in the kayak.
Kevin had the slows, didn't he?
You didn't notice Gelb's in a kayak, did you?
Would you want to go out there 9 innings in a kayak in a game, waiting for a ball?
No.
No, thank you. I got better things to do.
Reyes, false start, throw to third. Reyes had started to run, and Guerin didn't sense it behind him and threw the ball to third base.
Isn't there the new rule they can't fake the third?
Can't fake to third.
Third and yes, right. So he had to make the.
Well, once he had started throwing to third, but Reyes had started moving before he even made a move. Reyes takes off. The pitch is called strike 3 on the inside corner, and that ends the inning. So Granderson retired for the first time today, and the Mets strand 2 more. They've left 11 on base today. Hit it in the drink. There's always somebody there to pick it up. It's hard to believe that was only 8 months ago. The Mets and the Giants facing each other in the National League wild card game. These two teams have combined 31 games under 500 in 2017, a far cry from that October night. Today's starters brought to you by People's United Bank. A very good outing for Rafael Montero. 5 2/3 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. In his 3rd start of the season, he has a chance for his 2nd ever major league win. There are your city probables for the series in Miami starting Tuesday night. Robert Gazelman against Dan Straley, who's been the best for the Marlins this year. Steven Matson, lefty Jeff Locke on Wednesday night. Seth Lugo against Jose Urena, who's pitched very well on Thursday night. For more on the Marlins, let's check in with Steve.
Well, Gary, the Marlins playing a lot better as of late, and one of the main reasons is the way Justin Bour has been swinging for about 2 months now. A very different player than the one we saw in early May. When the Marlins left Citi Field on May 7th, he was hitting just .228 with 4 home runs. Since that time, hitting over .340 with 14 home runs. Coming into today, led the entire National League in terms of home run per at-bat ratio. Or at-bat to home run ratio, I should say. And the one real difference when you look at Bour this year versus the rest of his career is the way that he's actually hitting lefties. Coming into this season, just a .223 hitter against lefties with no career home runs. But this year already has 6 off lefties. He's hitting .340 against them. It'll be interesting to see what he does against Steven Matz, who's pitching on Wednesday.
See if he gets the start against the lefty.
Well,
because that hasn't always been the case either. Brandon Crawford drives one to the left field corner, but just foul.
The Mets had faced the Marlins 3 times in April, and the Braves real quick into the first week of May, and Bour looked absolutely awful. And I've always liked him, big, strong guy. So I'm not the least bit surprised that he's been going on this tear. A big, strong left-hand hitter. He's dangerous.
Well, that middle of the order, especially since they moved Stanton up to the 2-hole. Stanton, Bour, and Ozuna, they've all been hitting. Ozuna's having a great year.
Yes, he is.
320, 20 homers, 53 driven in, .580 slugging percentage. Crawford pops one foul out of play, and Stanton hit his 20th home run today. He's been on fire since they moved him up in the batting order. They also got Martin Prado back from the disabled list after he missed 41 games with a hamstring injury. Right. So they are very much whole offensively. The question, as it has been right from the start of the season for Miami, is about their starting pitching. Sewald misses low and in, 1 and 2.
It's always been about their pitching. They've never had enough. But that is a good lineup, a good young team offensively.
Paul Sewald working here in the 7th inning after Josh Edgin got the final out in the 6th. Sewald's 2nd appearance in the series. Struck out the only batter he faced on Friday night after having a rough go of it in Los Angeles. And the slider misses down to Crawford, who's putting together a good turn at bat here. 2 and 2. Gorkys Hernandez, who came in to play left field in the last inning, is on deck, and then the pitcher's spot, which is why the Hernandez move didn't make much sense. Breaking ball taken down 3 and 2, unless there was an injury to Austin Slater. That we don't know.
I need a coffee.
Well, then have a coffee. They make good coffee here.
It is good coffee.
Josh Osich up in the Giants bullpen. 9th pitch of the at bat to Crawford. And he hits it in the air to left field. Nimmo back onto the warning track, has room, and makes the catch 1 away. So Sewald wins that battle, retires Crawford on the fly ball. And now here is Hernandez, who came in to play left field last inning. He started the opening game of this series at a 2-run single against Seth Lugo and went 1 for 4. And Hernandez swings over the fastball, 0-1. Kelby Tomlinson has come out on deck with the pitcher's spot due up next. And the fastball on the corner, and Sewald gets ahead 0-2. Game in LA has gone to the 6th inning. Rockies 6, Dodgers 4. Rockies trying to get out of LA with a victory before they come here to start a series.
Yeah, if they get one, they only lose a game in the standings. It's important. You don't want to get, obviously, you don't want to get swept.
Little jam shot to center field. In comes Granderson to get it, and there are 2 out. Be at Citi Field Saturday, July 1st, when the Mets take on the Phillies at 4:10 p.m. First 15,000 fans in attendance will receive an Asdrubal Cabrera bobblehead, courtesy of Citi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. I think that's the celebration when he hit that walk-off home run last year. Remember that? Bottom of the 11th inning. Kelby Tomlinson, the pinch hitter. And the slider in for a strike, and Sewald ahead on the count 0-2. Tomlinson 0 for 2 in this series. A strikeout and a line drive out. And it's strike 3 called on the outside corner. So Sewald takes care of Tomlinson on 3 pitches, and he has himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. We head to the 8th in San Francisco, 5-1 New York. Five to 1. Here's an inside look at tonight's new episode of Mets Insider, presented by WB Mason.
I think I woke up the next day and that was the worst pain I've ever been in. I had a morphine pump and I pumped until I passed out. It sucked, but that's what I had to do to stay on the field. If I didn't have the surgery, I probably couldn't play anymore. So I had to do it.
Mets Insider presented by WB Mason tonight after the postgame only on SNY. Lefty Josh Osich will be the 4th Giants pitcher of the day. Osich worked 2 innings on Friday night, gave up a run on 3 hits, struck out 4.
The Giant bullpen has not been very good this series, and pretty much not all year. I think we've seen glaringly what the weaknesses of this Giant ball club are.
Friday night, the bullpen gave up 4 runs in 6 innings of work. Yesterday, they gave up 4 runs in 2 innings of work. So far today, the bullpen has yet to allow a run. Asdrubal Cabrera is 1 for 4 today. It'll be Cabrera, then Jay Bruce and Wilmer Flores for the Mets in the 8th. Yesterday, the Mets and Giants were tied 1-1 going to the 8th, and the Mets immediately jumped on the Giants bullpen. Sam Dyson, Stephen Okert, George Contos, Kyle Crick, they all were touched for hits. That's a bullet through the hole, a base hit for Cabrera, his 2nd hit of the day. Well, Cabrera has rejoined the Mets off the disabled list, despite the off the field controversy, as though nothing ever happened. 7 hits in 13 at bats in this series. So the Mets yet again get their leadoff man on. It is 7 times in 8 innings today the Mets have had their first man on. Here's Jay Bruce, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Bruce is 1 for 4, had a base hit through the shift into right center his last time up. And Osich misses with the curveball, 1-1. Curveball for a strike, 1-2. There's your Mets box score presented by Fidelis Care.
The big day, of course, Rivera with the 2 home runs, 3 RBIs.
Rivera has excelled with the bat and with the glove today, helping out Rafael Montero to his best start this year. And the curveball misses to Bruce, 2-2. Wilmer Flores, who's having another fine day, waiting on deck. Mets with 5 runs and 11 hits. About the only downside for the Mets offense today. They've left 11 runners on base. They've had a chance to break this game open several times. Last inning they had the first 2 men on but didn't score. 2-2 coming. Driven in the air to deep right center. Back goes Span to the warning track back near the wall, and it's out of here. Jay Bruce with his 20th home run of the year, a 2-run shot. And now the Mets have built a 7-1 lead.
Boy, this bullpen's getting punished, and Jay is starting to come around offensively against left-hand pitching. That is one of the deeper part of the ballpark. This is a blast.
Just his 3rd home run against left-handed pitching this year. And that is a long way out. So the Mets have hit 3 home runs today. They've now hit 45 home runs this month, which ties the Mets club record for any month. And we still have 4 games left after today in the month of June. Flores checks the swing, but went around 1-1.
You don't see very many home runs in this part of the ballpark here in San Francisco. Oh boy, they just keep giving it up.
Osich wasn't expecting that either. Flores gets one in the air to left center. Back goes Span, should have room in front of the warning track, and Hernandez almost got in his way, but Span makes the catch for a long first out.
It's the center fielder's ball all the way. I don't know what he's calling it too.
I was just trying to help.
Center fielder is always the man. He's the traffic cop.
So 1 out now, Duda, and he takes a curveball for a strike. Lucas with a single and a double today. He's driven in a run. He's scored a run. So 45 home runs in a month. The Mets did that in August of 2015. They did it in August of 2016, and now they've done it in June of 2017. So just like the rest of baseball, since the All-Star break in 2015, home run records are falling everywhere. And a breaking ball, strike 3 called. Duda is struck out for the 3rd time today, and 2 out in the inning. Jerry Blevins, the left-hander, up in the Mets bullpen. Here's T.J. Rivera. TJ's 1 for 4 today. Interesting that Blevins is up now with a 6-run lead. Of course, he was used with a 7-run lead on Friday night. But that was a case where he had such a bad outing on Thursday that they felt they needed to get him right back out on the mound.
And you got an off day tomorrow.
Now, Addison Reed pitched in that game on Friday with a 7-run lead, but that's because he hadn't pitched in nearly a week. And then he pitched yesterday again in a non-save situation because the Mets tacked on a run in the 9th and had a 4-run lead, and he was already up. So whether Reed is available today or not is questionable to pitch a 3rd straight day. But the larger you build the lead, the less those things should matter. And TJ takes one in the dirt, 2-1. But as you say, with an off day tomorrow, that certainly makes it a lot easier to make decisions with your bullpen. But then after that, the Mets have the 3 in Miami. They go right back home. They get home at a ridiculously late hour and then play Friday night against the Phillies, and then go right back out on the road and play the next day against Washington. So they've got 9 in a row after Monday. Grounded foul, 2-2 to Rivera. Then it becomes a little easier. They get an off day before they go to St. Louis, and then they get the All-Star break, and then they can reset everything. Brandon Nimmo on deck. Still waiting for any kind of medical word on Michael Conforto, who came out of this game a couple of innings ago after being hit on the hand by a pitch. And a smack into left field, a base hit for TJ Rivera.
That was back in the 5th, and that's where he got hit on the wrist there. And we can only hope that it's not anything serious.
They're calling it now a contusion of his left hand, X-rays pending.
Well, of course it's going to be a contusion. Jeez. My goodness. Got hit in the wrist.
Here's Nimmo. So TJ Rivera has his 2nd hit of the day, and the Mets have 13 hits for the game. Nimmo walked in his only plate appearance after Conforto came out of the game. And now we are told that the X-rays on Conforto's hand were negative.
Good.
So that's a good piece of news.
So ice. He needs to have 24 hours ice on that wrist and keep that swelling down. And I guarantee you he'll be ready to play on Tuesday. But you've got to have ice on that thing. It's the school of Ron Hunt.
What's the acronym? RICE. Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Yes, that's okay.
So ice is a big part of that.
Yes.
25%.
Ice is good. Ice is your friend.
Well, I know about you and your ice machine.
Yes.
You are the king of ice.
It's very soothing and relieving.
2-2 to Nimmo. And he takes the breaking ball down, 3-2. He can run some deep at bats, can't he?
Giant pitchers can run some deep at bats.
Rene Rivera would be next. TJ Rivera will be running with 3-2 and 2 out. Straight 2 from Osich, and Nimmo slashes one foul. 95 mile an hour
nice
fastball.
Nice catch with the left hand. Well done. Right above that little kid's head. He reached over and got it. Nice play.
Who needs a glove?
Way to go, Dad.
He might need some ice.
Yes, that's true.
Again, the 3-2, and the breaking ball fouled off. And Nimmo hanging in there.
Kind of like he's got nothing to put a hitter away with.
26 pitches deep into this 8th inning. Jay Bruce has hit a 2-run homer to expand the Mets lead. Eighth pitch of the at bat coming to Nimmo. And Brandon takes a walk. So Nimmo walks for the second straight time, and the inning continues. There's nobody up in the Giants bullpen, so it's up to Osich to figure his way through this inning. Dave Righetti will go out to the mound to try and counsel him. But now Rene Rivera will get another plate appearance.
He got a chance for a very big day now. You can add on.
Rene homered each of his first two at bats today. He's driven in 3 runs. Since then, he's grounded out and popped up, so he's 2 for 4 on the afternoon. So Rivera at second, Nimmo at first, Rivera at the plate. And with the Mets a little shorthanded on their bench, who's on deck to pinch hit? Well, Steven Matz is on deck to pinch hit. He's already been successful in that role this year. Became the second Met pitcher ever to get an RBI as a pinch hitter, joining Doc Gooden. So relishing another role as a pinch hitter. But now Rene down to the count 0-2. Mets still have Travis d'Arnaud and Yoenis Cespedes left on the bench.
Well, number one, d'Arnaud is your only other catcher, and you want to have Cespedes to have a full off day. This is a full off day. This is a 7-1 ball game here in the 8th inning. It's what Terry wanted. Give his left fielder a complete full day off, a day away.
0-2 to Rene, and it skips into Posey, who somehow knocks it down.
How'd that happen?
They talk about the 55-foot curveball. That was more like 45 feet.
It's like the famous, was it Hank Greenwald? The 30-footer goes 20.
That's quite an air ball.
Yes. That was his signature call.
1-2 coming, and Rene shoots one foul, and they'll do it again.
Hank used to do the Golden State Warrior games when I was a kid growing up.
Is that after Bill King did
After,
the games?
yep. He did TV too. Did all the TV. Hank was a really nice man.
Well, there's Hunter Strickland just off suspension today, going down to the Giants bullpen with Osich unable to find his way through this inning. 31 pitches already and still going. Again, the 1-2, and the curveball struck him out, and that ends the inning. But Jay Bruce's 2-run homer gives the Mets more of a cushion as we head to the bottom of the 8th. 7-1 New York. AT&T Park in San Francisco, where the Mets have had a good time this weekend. Wins Friday night and yesterday, and a chance for a 3-game sweep. They lead 7-1 going to the bottom of the 8th. And for the second time in this series, Terry Collins is going to bring Jerry Blevins in with a 7-run lead.
You got me.
It's a little hard to figure. I understood it on Friday. I'm not sure I understand it today. Connor Gillespie is up for the Giants. I mean, they have left-hand hitters coming up. Gillespie, Span, and Panic. But it's a 6-run lead.
Well, off day tomorrow. Hopefully a quick inning for him.
Gillespie up for the second time. He grounded out in the 5th after coming in a double switch, and he lines one into right field. Jay Bruce got a late start, and it goes behind him as he tries to make the diving catch. Gillespie heads for second and makes it safely. Well, that was not handled well by Bruce. First he froze, and then perhaps ill-advisedly tried to dive for it, and it winds up being a double.
A little bit of a late break there. Had a chance to get it. Under the glove.
So a leadoff double for Gillespie to start this bottom of the 8th. And now Denard Span, who's 1 for 3 today. Fernando Salas is up in the Mets bullpen now. And a fastball from Blevins for a strike, 0-1. Blevins got Span to ground out on Friday night, and he's ahead of him here 0-2. Jerry had that so unusual outing in Los Angeles when he walked 3 batters in a row, 2 with the bases loaded in the last game of that series. And came back Friday night with a clean inning. And now out there today with the Mets up 7-1 in the 8th. Mets 7 runs, 13 hits. The Giants 1 run and 6 hits. And the curveball popped up. Cabrera trailing out, battling the sun as he goes. Granderson in, and it drops. Gillespie holds at second. Cabrera, for some reason, did not have his sunglasses on. Granderson did. Granderson was battling the sun, so was Cabrera, and neither one caught it.
I thought Granderson's was Granderson's ball here.
But
he's worried about Cabrera. And you know, if you're going to wear sunglasses, why are you wearing them on your bill of your cap? That's something I have never understood.
Funny thing is, Cabrera saw it better than Granderson did, even though Granderson was wearing sunglasses and Cabrera wasn't.
What good does that do? It doesn't even look good.
Waiting to see how they score that.
It's got to be a base hit.
Here's Joe Panic with first and second and nobody out. Panic has singled and walked today, 1 for 2. Gillespie was holding at second base, and so he didn't advance.
I mean, that's got to be a base hit, and no one put a glove on. I mean, it was a tough. You can't give an air to with Cabrera going back.
And the curveball outside. I think they put a hit on the board for the Mets, by the way, on that. Because the Mets have 13 hits and they put 14 up on the board. They didn't give a hit to the Giants. They're so used to the Giants giving up hits that they added one to the other team. So it will be a hit.
Is that what it is?
It will be a hit for Span. And the curveball outside. And it's 2-0 to Panic, and all of a sudden this inning's starting to wind in an ugly direction for Blevins and the Mets. 2 plays not made in the outfield, one by Bruce, and then the combination of Cabrera and Granderson allowing the ball to fall in. Could have been 2 outs. Instead, it's 2 on.
Yep.
And now 2-0 to Panic with Pence on deck. Salas is up in the bullpen with the right-handers Pence and Posey coming up. And Panic fouls off the 2-0 fastball. Josh Edgen retired his only batter. Sewald worked a 1-2-3 7th. And now Blevins trying to negotiate trouble in the 8th. After Rafael Montero went the first 5 2/3 and pitched very well. And the curveball popped up. Infield fly rule should be called. Batter is out. And Duda squeezes it 1 away. Drive around the majors brought to you by Audi. Giancarlo Stanton hit his 20th home run. Edison Volquez got the win, and the Marlins beat the Cubs 4-2. Irvin Santana 6 scoreless innings despite 9 hits, and the Twins go back into first place after they sweep the Indians. Blevins out with the right-hand hitters coming up. Fernando Salas will come in. Mets up 7-1 in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back to San Francisco. First time in this series.
Well, it's been mainly, it's an up and down year for Fernando. Sometimes he comes in and gets the job done, and sometimes he can't find the plate. Too many walks, 17 33 innings. He's earned every bit of that 6.00 earned run average.
Pitched well his last time out in Los Angeles, an inning and a third. He comes in to face Hunter Pence with 2 on and gets the first pitch over for a strike. If you saw in his numbers there, his splits are backwards. The right-hand hitters have hit him far better than the left-hand hitters. Throws that little changeup to lefties. That's an effective pitch. Doesn't really have a counterpart against the righties. Pence is 1 for 2 and a walk today, with Gillespie at second, Span at first, and 1 out. And it's fouled away. A fastball from Salas, 93. It's about the hardest pitch he's thrown all season. And he's ahead on Pence, 0-2. Buster Posey waits on deck. Giants have had some chances in this game, but have really let them get away. Third inning, they had the bases loaded, 1 out, scored only 1, and then Pence was thrown out trying to steal with Belt at the plate. That took them out of a bigger inning. And then in the 6th inning, they got the first 2-man on. They put the runners in motion on a 3-2 pitch, and Posey hit a pop-up that wound up resulting in a double play, and that helped the Mets get out of that jam. Now they got the first 2-men on some poor outfield play here in the 8th, and Salas trying to put down this threat. 1-2 coming to Pence. Little tapper past the mound. Cabrera on the charge. The bare hand play not in time. An infield hit for Pence loads the bases.
Well, this inning should have been over with, and it is now bases loaded, one out. Good hustle by Pence.
And now Buster Posey gets another bases loaded opportunity. He delivered the only Giants run with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning against Montero. And now he comes up against Salas with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the 8th. Posey 0 for 2 in his career against Salas. Gillespie at 3rd, Span at 2nd, Pence at 1st. And Salas looking for a ground ball. And Posey swings through the first pitch fastball, 0-1. Off the plate, a ball and a strike. Gerald Dempsey Posey, now 30 years old. Rookie of the Year, MVP.
Time flies, doesn't it?
4-time All-Star, batting champion, Gold Glover last year for the first time. Wrested it away from Yadier Molina. Changeup misses. 2-1 to Posey. Brandon Belt waiting on deck. Mets have used both of their lefties out of the bullpen. Nobody throwing behind Salas. And Posey fouls back the high fastball. 2-2.
That's right. He was the first Rookie of the Year since John the Count Monofusco in 1975. John the Count had a great slider.
2-2 to Posey. And fouled away. Eric Goodell has begun to throw now in the Mets bullpen. Goodell looked pretty good in the game Friday night. Hoping to win his way back into a prominent role after coming back from the minor leagues. Meanwhile, it's Salas in a big spot here. Posey trying to get the Giants back in the game. 2-2. Ground ball, could be 2. Cabrera comes in. He'll have to go to first with it and gets the out there. Ball just not hit hard enough. Anytime Posey hits it on the ground, you think you have a pretty good chance for 2 because he really doesn't run well at all. But it was hit so slowly that there was no play at second. Gillespie comes in to score to make it 7-2.
Well, you really want to try to get that lead runner, but with a 7-1 lead, you make sure you get the sure out.
Well, especially with Pence running as much as he hustles, I'm not sure that he would have had a play at second. So now 2 out, 2 in scoring position, and here's Belt, and that's knocked down by Rivera. Ball 1.
Boy, Posey can't be happy with his day. He's had a lot of men on base. He's got 2 RBIs, but he's left a chunk of runners on base today.
Twice came up with the bases loaded and 1 out, and then in between up with 2 men on and nobody out, hit that little pop up into a double play. So that's 8 runners. He's cashed 2 of them. And you know, you were saying coming into the series, Keith, look at Posey hitting .345, only 28 RBIs.
Right.
And one of the reasons is that he's had so few runners on base, and ahead of him we'll hear he's had a plethora today and unable to make the most of it.
He's only got 2. Now he's got 30 now. Now you wonder sometimes, you know, you don't get a lot of opportunities to drive in runs, and then when you get them, they're so far and few in between that you press. You can press.
2-1 to Belt, who had a bunt hit back in the second. Since then has struck out twice, once against Montero and once against Edgin. He's got 2 in scoring position, a chance to cut the deficit for San Francisco. Span at third, Pence at second with 2 out. And Belt fouls it off. Well, this is as hard as we've seen Salas throw maybe since April. Consistently 92, 93 with his fastball. That hasn't been the case most of the time. Two coming to Belt, and he jammed him and he fouls it off. And now Belt steps out. Two from Salas to Belt, and he struck him out. Inning over. Fernando Salas using his fastball to strike out Brandon Belt and limit the damage in the 8th inning. Giants get just the 1 run. And we head to the 9th with the Mets up 7-2. Ninth inning, Hunter Strickland comes on to pitch for the Giants. Fernando Salas will bat for himself, and so apparently Terry wants Salas to finish this game. So Fernando gets the rare time at bat. Strickland pitching for the first time since his suspension. He was suspended for 6 games for his dust-up with Bryce Harper.
That was a dust-up, too. That was a good one.
That suspension ended yesterday, so this is his first day back, and Salas chases one for strike 3, and Strickland has a strikeout to start his outing. We're back with you on Tuesday night when the Mets open their series in Miami. It'll be Robert Gazelman on the mound Tuesday night. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock Tuesday night on SNY. SNY play ball, and the New York Jets are looking to help local football leagues in need with grant, equipment donations, and clinics and special Jets experiences. As your league need assistant, apply today at sny.tv/playball. Curtis Granderson takes a strike. Well, we now know why Austin Slater left the game. Tight right hip flexor.
Let me tell you something about those hip flexors, Gare.
Yeah.
I have none left. I pulled those so many times. They're easy to play with. That's the muscle that makes you, when you run, be able to lift your knees up. And mine are shot.
So you're deflexed.
Yes, but I could still motor around those bases, even without the flexors.
I'd like to see you try now with that big walking stick you're using.
Oh, you should have seen me motor, Gare.
By the way,
you couldn't tell because you were in the upper tank all the time.
Oh, I've watched you run. 2-2 to Granderson. You had other skills that made up for it. But I was just very impressed today with your new walking stick that apparently you have acquired from our counterparts.
Mike Kruko gave me like a shepherd's walking stick. Very nice of Mike. We're good buddies.
It's a very nice item. You could really do some major damage with it.
I feel like Moses here. It's like, follow me. I will lead you to the promised land. Don't worry about that Red Sea. We'll get there. We'll get by it.
So you have the staff. All you need are the tablets.
This is nice. Nice thing to do that. It's nice.
It's a beautiful walking stick.
It is.
Does this mean I have to call you Moses for the rest of the year? Granderson clocks one deep down the right field line, headed toward the water, and it's out of here. Curtis Granderson into McCovey Cove. His 10th home run of the season. And the Mets' 4th home run of the day makes it 8-2 New York. And another souvenir for Dave. And for the Mets, a new club record, their 46th home run in the month of June, the most the Mets have ever hit in any month in their history.
Well, Terry Collins is going to have to find a way to keep him in the lineup.
Curtis on base 5 times today and circling the bases on the last one.
Good for Curtis. Such a tough start he had. Never came to the park, always hustled. And he was down deep in the depths of mortar too. And let me tell you, it never affected him. It's good to see him. It's really nice to see perseverance.
Well, it should be a lesson to all of us, because every year he has been with the Mets, Granderson has gotten off to a slow start, and every year he has recovered. And this year, even though the initial slump lasted longer, he has found his way out of it, and he has had a great last 6 weeks. Even after playing time diminished, he kept it going, and now he looks like he might be an immovable object as far as that lineup's concerned. And how that's going to work out, I just don't know.
You got the young Conforto. You can't sit him.
3-0 to Cabrera. And there's a strike. Chase Bradford has gotten up in the Mets bullpen. Bradford, who has yet to make his major league debut, might get a chance here as this lead expands.
Be a good time to put him in. You only get 1 inning of, what, 2/3 of an inning out of Salas.
3-1 to Cabrera, and he goes after a high fastball, and it's 3-2. As Dribble has 2 hits today and 5 at bats, 7 for 14 in this series after coming off the disabled list. Mets had 20 hits on Friday night, 10 hits yesterday, 14 hits today. So San Francisco has proven to be quite the tonic. 3-2 coming, and he walked him. So Cabrera's on with a 1-out walk. Let's check in with the studio, see what's coming up on WB Mason Postgame Live. Doug Williams, Jim Duquette, guys. All right, gentlemen, now it's Jay Bruce with 1 out and 1 on. So I am told that that home run that Granderson hit is the 7th that a Met has hit into McCovey Cove. Carlos Delgado twice, Cliff Floyd twice, and now Granderson's done it 3 times. Once in 14, once in 16, and again today. So that's 7 what they call here splash hits. Although on the splash hits board that is posted out in right field, they do not count opponents' splash hits. Only Giants balls that go in the water. Now most of those 73 belong to one guy. That of course was Barry Bonds. He was the king of these splash hits.
Barry became a dead pull hitter.
That's how he hit 756 home runs.
Wonder how many McCovey would have hit over there. Willie was here today. I don't know if he's still here. I got a chance to see him and say hello to him. He's such a wonderful man.
Well, you see, Willie didn't have to hit any into McCovey Cove. That's popped up along the line. A long run for Hernandez. Can he get there? Sliding, and he makes a nice catch. That ball was in fair territory. His body went into foul territory, but the ball was fair, and he makes a really nice catch for the second out.
Boy, he got a good break. He hustled all the way after this ball. Boy, the wind here, when the ball gets up high, it always blows out to right field, and that ball was drifting towards right. Nice recovery. Nice play.
So Gorkys Hernandez makes a terrific play for the second out. And now Wilmer Flores is 2 for 4 and a walk today. Anyway, Stretch didn't have to hit him into McCovey Cove because they named it after him.
That's right. Appropriately, too.
Yes, indeed.
It's very nice. Got to make him feel good. He's a part of Giant history here.
There he is in statuary out beyond McCovey Cove.
That beautiful follow through. Well, what a powerful swing he had.
That one hits Flores on the hand. Second Met to get hit on the hand today. And Wilmer looks like he's okay.
Oh, that got him.
Well, Conforto left the game after getting hit on the hand. They took x-rays which were negative. And now Flores gets plunked as well. So the Mets have 2 on with 2 out. And here's Duda, who's 2 for 5 today. So here's something that doesn't happen often. Duda has 2 hits, an RBI, a run scored, but he could also have a golden sombrero.
He's got 3 punches.
So is that a good day or a bad day if you end up 2 for 6 with a golden sombrero?
Well, it's not an 0 for 6, Gare.
That's very well put.
It's very good analysis.
Yes, I really enjoyed that. You want 1 scoop or 2? And a knee-high fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Duda. Giants had to go to their bullpen in the 5th inning today, and there hasn't been a single easy inning for the pen so far.
No.
And Duda does strike out for the 4th time today.
And he's not happy.
2 hits, an RBI, but a golden sombrero to go with it. Mets 3 outs away from a series sweep, and they'll put the ball in the hands of Chase Bradford for his major league debut.
Well, there are his numbers at Vegas. Saw a lot of him in spring training. Sinker slider, I believe, Garrett.
And now getting a chance to tow a big league rubber for the first time, facing Brandon Crawford, who's 1 for 3 today. Pulls one down to first. Duda's got it. Crawford retired, and Chase Bradford gets his first out in the big leagues. Chase is 27 years old, born in Las Vegas. Went to college at the University of Central Florida, and this is remarkable. You know, you think about drafts and first round picks and who makes it and who doesn't. Chase Bradford was the Mets' 35th round pick in 2011. Seth Lugo was the Mets' 34th round pick in 2011. How many teams have the 34th and 35th round picks in the same draft make it to the big leagues? That's pretty remarkable.
It is.
Rockies Hernandez up for the 2nd time and lays off the slider, but he went around 1-1. Nick Hundley has come out on deck to pinch hit for the Giants. He's the last available player on Bruce Bochy's bench. And Bradford slider in at the feet of Hernandez, 2-1. Bradford, the 6th Met pitcher of the afternoon, trying to lock it down for Rafael Montero and get Montero just his 2nd big league win and his first since 2014. Montero went 5 2/3, allowed a run on 5 hits, struck out 7. Bouncing ball toward the middle. That'll go through for a base hit for Gorkys Hernandez. So 1 out and 1 on, and now Nick Hundley will come up to pinch hit. Hundley caught the opening game of the series on Friday night, went 0 for 3. Bats here with 1 out and 1 on. That hit for the Giants, their 9th of the afternoon. Duda will play behind the runner at first, and Bradford throws the fastball by Hundley, 0-1. Now 0-2. Chase Bradford has been a relief pitcher his entire professional career. 303 games in the minor leagues, every one of them as a reliever. 45 saves in 7 minor league seasons. Always has been able to throw strikes. 0-2 coming, and Hundley a check swing foul. Over the course of his 7-year minor league career, Bradford has averaged 1.9 walks per 9 innings. So that's a terrific mark. As you can see, not a hard thrower. He'll throw 91, 92 miles an hour. 0-2 to Hundley with Connor Gillespie on deck. And he struck him out. First big league strikeout for Chase Bradford. And now the Giants are down to their final out of the day.
Slider out of the strike zone. Good down break.
So one more out to get. And Connor Gillespie the batter. Gillespie hit the line drive that went under the glove of Bruce for a double in the 8th inning and came in to score a run. 1 for 2 today. And he takes a fastball off the plate, ball 1. That's the day off tomorrow after they fly to Miami. And they'll be back in action Tuesday night with Robert Gazelman on the mound against the Marlins. Two 2-0 to Gillespie. Denard Span would be next. That's with 44 hits in this 3-game series. Complete turnaround from their series in Los Angeles in every respect. And now Bradford behind 3-0. In the series in LA, in the 4 games, the Mets had 26 hits, hit 202 as a team. In this 3-game series, 44 hits, they've hit 376 as a team.
That's what they call chewing up a bad pitching staff, and you've got to do that.
And that's a fastball for a strike. Well, you move from the top of the division to the bottom of the division, and you can see the difference. Mets will have 6 more games coming up against teams with losing records. They've got the Marlins and then the Phillies. 3-1 coming, and that's ball 4. So Gillespie keeps it going with a 2-out walk. And they'll get Denard Span to the plate.
The Seagulls even know when the games are almost over in the day games.
I don't understand that.
They've got it.
I understand it at night that they anticipate the end of the game because, you know, it's feeding time. But at 4:45 in the afternoon,
they're ready. They're ready to scavenge.
You think they can read the scoreboard and see it's the
Yeah,
9th
I'm
inning?
beginning to think so.
These are very smart Seagulls. So now Denard Span, who's 2 for 4 today, hit the pop fly that fell between Granderson and Cabrera in the 8th inning. And he goes after the first pitch slider, 0-1. Addison Reed is walking down toward the bullpen just in case. 6-run lead, 2 out in the 9th. What could happen? 0-1 from Bradford. And he got that one in on Span. Another good slider, and it's 0-2. And now the Giants are down to their final strike. Chase Bradford trying to put a close on this series. 0-2 to Span. And that just missed. 1-2. Joe Panik would be next. I think the 524th straight sellout crowd at AT&T Park's ready to go home.
I think a lot of them have gone.
1-2 coming. Pulled down to first, foul. Eric Lango with the stop. And so Chase Bradford will throw his 20th pitch of the inning. Two on, two out. Here's the 1-2. And Span hits one slowly. It's a foul ball. It came off his foot. And they'll do it another time. A leisurely Sunday tilt.
I could think of a better adjective.
Again, the 1-2 from Bradford to Span. Lined, foul.
That wasn't even lined.
Well, it was
It's a little field mouse.
It was
got jammed.
It was directed. If it had gone over the bag, it would have been lined
Been
right.
in trouble.
There you go. Addison Reed is just standing around and watching in the bullpen, hoping that Chase Bradford can save him the trouble of having to warm up. But if Span were to get on, he would start throwing. Seventh pitch of the at bat coming. And that's in there for a call strike three, and the ball game is over, and the Mets have completed a sweep of the Giants. Chase Bradford in his major league debut strikes out a pair in the ninth inning. Rafael Montero gets just his second big league win and his first since 2014, as the Mets bounce back from the sweep at the hands of the Dodgers by sweeping three from the Giants, winning today 8-2.
Well, it was another offensive bonanza for the Mets. They've hit 4 home runs in this game, and the big star early was Rivera, who hit his 4th and 5th home runs of the year. 2 home runs with 3 RBIs. First time he's hit 2 home runs in his career. Bruce hit his 20th. He also drove in 3 runs. And Grandy, red hot, 10th home run.
Here's your game summary presented by StubHub. Rivera with his first career 2 home run game. Rafael Montero with his second career victory. And the Mets take 3 from the Giants. They're now 3-4 on this road trip as they head for Miami. For every Mets win, the Mets organization is proud to contribute $2,500